Welcome back to All Things Scientology, where we pull back the curtain on the abusive practices of Scientology. We sure do appreciate you joining us tonight. We're your hosts. I'm Claire Headley.
And I'm Amy Scobee. Yes, with our combined total years of experience with Scientology inside as staff members at the highest echelons, which isn't a great thing, and our experience for 18 years outside of Scientology, being attacked by Scientology for speaking out, we have plenty to share. And today is no different. We have a lot to share. But first of all, I want to go ahead and acknowledge some of the people that are here from all over the world.
Yes.
Yes, like here, for example, is Relaxed Llama Drama from Clearwater, Denmark. Nice to see you.
Nice.
And this is my friend Linda. She's here from Clearwater, Cleveland. Yes.
Okay, and now my turn. I'm going to give a shout out to, hold on, there we go. Liz Ferris in the house. Hi, Liz.
Yes. Hi, Liz.
And another frequent flyer, PA Girl 913. Hi from Clearwater, Cleveland. Great
now
to
that's
have
my
you
friend,
here.
my friend Linda, and I already said her.
Oh,
so you
okay.
get one more. You get one more.
Oh, I get another one. Okay, here I got a good one. Karen Weiss. Hello, dear ladies from Riverside County, California. I spent more years there than I'd like to mention, but that's okay.
Yes. Andrea from Clearwater, Long Island. Nice. And how about Necessary Trouble, which I love that handle. Hi from Montana.
Nice. And Alex Parker. Hey from Lexington, Kentucky. And here's another one. Tori popping in from the UK. Wow.
Nice.
Thanks for staying up late for us, Tori. We sure do appreciate that.
Yeah. Here's another one from UK. Clearwater. How do you say that?
Cambridgeshire, I believe.
Okay, UK. And
if
also
I get fired by all the Brits in the house, that'll be because it's been too many years since I lived in the UK.
See, I blame it on you because I made you say it, right? And this one is Myra from Redmond, Washington, which was close to where I lived in Washington.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. And let's see. Apostate Alex, UK peeps represent. Yep. Nice to see you here, Apostate Alex. Oh boy. No, I'm not doing that one. Sorry. Not you, Alex. The next one.
Where is this person from?
Well, I don't know, Amy. Where? I don't have my contacts in.
Saskatchewan.
I believe it's Saskatchewan, Amy.
Oh God. Well, everybody, hi. Nice to see you. Thank you for being with us today. There's a lot going on in the world of Scientology right now, just so much. And I have a week in review that I've put together that we're going to walk through. And and we will cover each of the points here. I'm going to get this on the screen here.
And by the way, Amy, I just wanted to say,
yes,
thank you so much for approving my completed staff work last week so that I could duck out and go to a comedy show. It was amazing.
Oh, totally. I was just going to cover how you were a total SP. So this is a week in review for 20 September 2023. And here's the first point. Christy Cole-Brinrender joined me last week because Claire was an SP and went to a comedy show. But boy, was that wonderful. We got to talk all about her story. Like, what's so funny? I'm just going to take this out so I can talk to you for a second. The thing that's so interesting about YouTube is, where else do you get to hear somebody's full story?
Yes.
I mean, I have told my story 100,000 times, and what people in the media want to know is, but what about Tom Cruise or something stupid like that?
Right.
I have a lot more to my life than that.
I know.
And everyone's story is just fascinating and unique and brave and courageous and outrageous. And, that was the first time I got to hear Christy's story from beginning to end. And I know that there's so much more to it as well, you know, and because I know some other stuff too that we'll
Yes.
talk with her about. But I just wanted to say that that's one reason why I just love this forum is people can talk. They're not edited out.
Yep.
Their whole story can be told. It is recorded for the future and everything like that. So anyway, thank you, Christy, for being with me.
Yes,
Well,
I did
look, I was
catch up
away.
on it, and it was
You
such
did.
a great interview. I enjoyed every minute of it. And yes, it's just crazy how much, you know, of course we all know each other, but we so often haven't had these conversations.
Right.
It's just amazing. And yes, you're right. I've had the exact same experience. So much of my story that's important to me has just ended up on a editing room floor, so to
For
speak,
sure.
right?
Totally.
So,
Like
yeah.
like entire sometimes you would spend days with a certain news organization or something like that, and the whole thing would get canned because of threats
Yep.
from Scientology or whatever. People are getting wise to that, though. You know, they don't have
Yes.
the teeth that they think they have. They might have dollar bills, but you know, they have no respect,
Yeah.
and that's what they're losing in the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah, and the other part too that I think it's important, like Mark always says, he heard Patrick Bet David talking about, hey, get on YouTube, you know, record things, create a legacy. And the beauty of that is really quite powerful, I think.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm doing that with my book chapters. So this last week, I read chapter 10, which was assault and battery, and that covered all of the instances of what I witnessed, David Miscavige beating my peers and this type of thing, and it was very detailed. So I did that chapter this week with all my added commentary.
Nice.
And then I also did Miscavige Spins Lisa McPherson's Tragedy, chapter 11. And I also found the video where Miscavige did the ship event, the
Okay.
IAS event on the ship, where he talks about the Lisa McPherson trial, never says her name, never says anything that they did wrong. And he blamed it on everything from Eli Lilly to the Clearwater police to the German government to the, you know, undercover. I mean, it's just like all over, splattered all over the place, but they are winning and it's a victory. And he's insane. So that's an interesting video because it really goes inside the mind of a Scientologist, and everyone's standing up there giving standing ovations and clapping, you know, and
Yeah. Oh
it
my
was a
gosh.
tragedy. Somebody in their charge died on their premises on their watch in a horrible way.
Yeah.
And anyway, justice was not seen on that. So that's
No.
what that chapter was.
Nice.
Then let's see. I also did another video with my friend Ken McMullen, and that was a live Q&A, and it was a lot of fun because we answered people's questions. So you can see that on my channel.
Nice.
And
I haven't seen that one yet. I'll have to catch up on that.
okay. And then this is, I did a little thank you shout out to Sterling because number one, he's precious. Number
Yes.
two, he did a video that talked about several of our channels and what he found useful with it or whatever, you know, how what he gets out of it. And I just thought it was so kind. So anyway, that's just my little shout out to him. And I was just watching his video with Aaron that he just did, a live video. And there's so much to his story too. So it also like overlaps a lot, like how much he was given when he left, and then it was taken for the air, you know, for the plane, just like mine. So you got to start the world with absolutely nothing. And anyway, there was a lot of stuff in there. So I need to take some notes because we should do another video with Sterling.
Yes, we'll definitely have him back on for sure. And
Yes.
yeah, I was kind of sad that I missed the interview with Christy last week, but hopefully I can be on for part 2. That
Oh
would
yeah,
be
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. Of course. Yeah, I'll just disapprove your next CSW.
Noted.
Yeah. Okay. Here's another one that was amazing this week, which is my husband, my handsome husband. The Flag Lab base continues to leak with Matt Pesh. Yeah, it's leaking like a sieve. And he's got all kinds of information coming out of there, where people are posted, what people passed away, that there's up to almost 200 people at the hacienda that are elderly that just basically take care of the cats. I mean, this is a problem. They have no solution for this.
Yeah.
And anyway, more information keeps coming out. Matt and I are going to do a live probably on Sunday at 4:00, I think is what we scheduled. And so it'll be a live Q&A and people can ask their questions. And also for anyone that you're curious about, send us an email. We got an avalanche of them and we are asking to try to find out about your loved ones. It's really, really important that people get any inkling of information. And there was like 11,000 views on his video right away,
Wow.
and so many people wrote in. So
that's amazing.
yeah,
I know,
so
it's
desire,
yeah.
to find out.
Yeah, it's so odd to think. I mean, it's not odd, but yet it is to go like Scientology should be thankful for the Aftermath Foundation, right? Because there really is a problem.
It's a big problem,
right? But yet they just continue to insist on, harassing and attacking us for the good work we are actually doing and helping people. But anyway,
it just shows their colors even more.
I know, it really
does. It just shows their colors. They can't take one iota of responsibility for one single thing in their entire sphere.
Right.
Literally cannot, will not, and cannot, because in the very beginning, if they just said, I'm sorry, this person is disgruntled. We apologize for anything that, we're responsible for. We're trying to do better or whatever. And we wish them well. Done. Instead, it's just attack, assassinate,
I know. And
yeah.
that's the thing. They don't know how to do anything other than what they do. So that's why this is the solution. This is the solution right here.
It is a solution.
Yeah.
And speaking of the Aftermath Foundation, we did an Aftermath Foundation fundraiser this week with all of our joyful faces here.
Yes.
We were cracking up about something. I think it was it was Mark saying that this is 6 inches or something.
Yeah, 6 centimeters. I was like, the bracelets run from 6.5 inches to 10 inches, and he's like, no, 6 centimeters. I'm like, no, it's not. I process all the orders. 6 centimeters is tiny. Yeah. Anyway, oh my gosh,
we're not doing way too Barbie doll.
Yeah, it's not a bracelet for your finger.
Oh, it was so funny. Yeah. And the other funny thing about that Aftermath, well, number one, it was a total success, right? What did we end up with there, Claire?
It was more than 30,000 at the end. I think that it's still, the way that YouTube works with the fundraiser is that we're not going to see anything until, I think, next month. I'm not sure. We'll see. It's like the 21st of each month. I'm not sure if we're going to make the cutoff for that, but either way, we'll give a final tally once all is said and done. We also received donations through the website, through PayPal. So it was amazing support. Really, really, really amazing. I was just blown away.
And the website is all redone. So if you haven't checked it out, go to theaftermathfoundation.com.
Yes. And thanks to everybody that sent in comments and notes about things to improve. But we're loving it so far. It's got so many great features. We added a contact us button as well just a few days ago. And so
So
Yep.
that's awesome. But what I was going to say is the other thing that was super funny about that live is right at the end, Mark had to bounce because he was going to start another live with Mitch, and so he told Claire to go ahead and end the stream as soon as we were done in just a few minutes, right? And she like gives him a salute. Don't worry, I'm on it. No problem. And he said, "Don't be a barbarian and mess it up," right?
So of course, what did I do? I messed it up. I'm like, oh, thanks for putting me on the spot. I've never done this before. I didn't even think, like, I was distracted by the conversation. He's like, well, you should have asked. I'm like, okay, you didn't really give me much heads up or warning that you were just gonna like, see ya, wouldn't want to be ya.
Yeah, right. See, he would have been the one fumbling with it. He must have realized he had no outro, and that's why he bounced early.
No, that's not what it was. No, I just,
kidding.
I was just like, I don't do the buttons and stuff, and I didn't know that I was gonna like 2 minutes before we're ending. Anyway, whatever. He had fun
It
with
was
it.
funny. And then what he did was, so Claire said, "Oh, don't worry, I'll just end, and it'll be our secret. He won't
Our little
know.
secret.
This will be our little secret." And she ended the broadcast. Okay, within an hour or so after he finished his live broadcast, he had an outro created that was of Claire totally messing it up and saying this will be our little secret. And he said, "I'm going to play this as my outro for the whole rest of the year."
And the title was "They Thought I'd Never Know" or something like that, right? They thought I'd never find out.
Yep. He'll never know.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, that
Too
was just a
funny.
little bit of light humor, always coming from Mark for sure.
Yep, definitely.
Here's another thing. You did a video this week with Catherine Edwards. Do you want to talk
Yes.
about that a minute?
Yes, yeah, she's from UK, and she wonderful lady that we just had a really good conversation about life after Scientology and various different elements of that. And anyway, it was a great conversation. She hasn't I think her channel is more focused on yoga and animal rescue and things like that, but she's such a kind person, so it was a great conversation.
Nice. I have not seen any of her videos. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is, you did another Where is Shelley? This was part 3. I don't know if you have a part 4 coming or if that was a wrap.
I think that's a wrap with Karen on Where's Shelley. But we're going to be, we're figuring out doing some more conversations about troublemakers in Scientology and fun stuff like that. So we'll see what comes of it.
Think troublemakers in Scientology. Wow, that would be an interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, I need to catch up on that too, but that I saw most of the first one and it was really interesting.
Here, I'm going to pop up a comment real quick.
Okay.
Blown for good. I'm always watching. Hi, honey. I know. I should have known better.
Yes, exactly. Okay. And then this is another one that you guys did, which was parenting after leaving Scientology with Janice and Mark at Peeling the Onion, our Scientology stories.
Yes.
So you guys all went on there and explained your experience about leaving Scientology and becoming parents. Well, I didn't have any reality with that one.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I thought afterwards, we just kept it to 1 hour for that one. I can't remember why. I think it was because Mark was doing Mitch right after that, his first one with Mitch. But I was thinking about it, and I literally made a list. There are many conversations that could be had around comparing, for example, my childhood growing up in Scientology versus raising kids now. There's just, like, for example, discipline. How was I disciplined? I was assigned lower conditions and had to write up my crimes and, make up the damage and ask for my mom and dad to sign me back into the family
unit.
Be allowed to rejoin the group. Anyway,
it's just pathetic.
Oh, it's so bad.
But yeah, that would be an interesting conversation. The other thing Matt and I were talking about is sometimes he slips and he says terminal. He calls a person a terminal. Did you speak to that terminal? And I'm like, you mean person? And the other thing that we called people in Scientology is particle. Like he's an ethics particle. And things like that. So it dehumanizes people to say, you know, that terminal doesn't know what they're talking about. He's an ethics particle.
Yeah.
That particle needs to be routed, you know, out or to ethics or whatever, to the RPF.
Yeah.
I was an RPF particle.
It's so, you're right. It is complete dehumanization. Completely.
Yes. Yes. So anyway, it's got to be 100% out of our vocabulary and realize that the whole purpose of it is to dehumanize a person. It really just is. So Then Mark did another video, Scientology Spy Files number 17, Unmasking a Scientology Internet Whistleblower. This was an amazing document that he exposed. It's detailed. I mean, these guys really was just like literally going after you guys, man.
Yeah, I know. It's really shocking when you actually just break it down to the nuts and bolts to look at. There are multiple people that they're dead set on destroying people, and that's what they're doing day in and day out. They're not clearing the planet. They're not helping anybody. They're just trying to destroy people.
Yeah, that's their job.
Yep.
Yeah. So with endless funds to be able to do so, it's ridiculous.
Yep. Exactly. Tax exempt dollars, people. Yep.
I want a t-shirt with RPF particle on it.
That's a good idea.
You'll see the t-shirt I just made as we get to show and tell.
Nice.
Because it's fun. Yeah. Okay, and then the next one is Mark is doing a series of videos with Mitch, and it says Mark and Mitch make a Scientology film. Number 1, how it started and how we did it. I loved watching this because I was there. Yeah. And so it's just so fun. I know all the people they're talking about. I know the locations they're talking about. And so to me, I just love it. And hearing their both of their individual perspectives and stuff. So anyway, these are going to be really, really fascinating and probably be kept down through the ages of this is what really happened. So yeah, he did that one. And also number 2, which was, we discussed the film TR7 Upper Indoc TRs. Yeah. What were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say, they were talking about the catchphrases from the films.
Yeah.
And so I was in the chat on one of those. And I remembered from the Pro TRs film, bees? What's honey got to do with this? That was one.
Stupidest.
I know. And then from TR14, confessional TRs, which is where they're trying to show you how to be a good interrogator. The devil. It was the angel was the interrogator, and the devil was where people end up who commit crimes, because that's not symbolic at all. And that we were thinking of the road to this place is utterly paved with broken promises. Do you remember that?
I do. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, some of these things you could chant in your sleep. It was just, because you had to watch them over and over and over again. And some of them were the most ridiculous. I mean, at least Mitch made them so that they weren't a complete, total, and utter
abomination.
Crawl under your chair. What?
Abomination.
Yeah, crawl under your chair, abomination. But still they suck. Because who wrote the script? Yeah. But speaking of Mitch, he did a video about Norman Starkey passing. They have confirmation that Norman Starkey, who was the trustee and executor of the L. Ron Hubbard's estate, been around forever, that he actually passed away on 11 June 2019. And that was really kind of surprising to me. I mean, of course, you and I knew him really well because
I worked
he was
very closely with Norman for 8 years when I was in Religious Technology Center.
Yeah. And he was one of the favorite punching bags of David Miscavige.
Yep, he
He
sure
was abused by David Miscavige, just routinely, absolutely routinely. Why? Because he was a strong, charismatic person.
Yep.
You know,
And I'd heard that his wife Maria had passed away a few years ago.
I didn't hear that. Oh, I didn't know that.
From cancer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, that's terrible.
Yeah.
But that was interesting to find out. And so thank you, Mitch, for bringing that to us. And it was also Jeffrey Augustine who did the verification on that, apparently. So thank you to both of you.
Yep.
The next big thing in the news is, after being sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole for 30 years, Danny Masterson's wife, Bijou Phillips, files for divorce.
Yep.
I thought that was an interesting move.
Seems like a legal strategy to me.
Yeah, like they're going into another civil lawsuit, so to protect all the assets. That's where my mind immediately goes.
Absolutely.
Not, you're a rapist. I mean, she was standing next to him in support of him every second of the way. So why suddenly, do that unless you're thinking about assets?
Yep.
And then another thing in the news is Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis backlash over support of rapist Danny Masterson. This is the BBC.
Scientologist in good standing.
Who is?
Danny Masterson.
Yeah, convicted rapist and Scientologist in good standing, Danny Masterson, and good friends with Ashton Kutcher and Mila, who defend him as a rapist. So this is the BBC, and BBC also put out, Ashton Kutcher resigns from charity over his support letter for rapist and Scientologist in good standing, Danny Masterson. This is also the BBC. I mean, it's all over the news. I just went to one news outlet and for those photos, but it's boy, was that a career killer.
Yeah.
Bad move, Ashton. Like, take a hint. This guy, why would you defend a convicted rapist unless you got something going on? I don't know what the answer to that is. So it's not good, and the world sees that and is throwing down.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then, okay, so anyway, I don't know if there's more you want to say on that stuff. It's kind of like,
no, we'll it's right. It's going to keep on going, I'm sure. No doubt about it. The fact that Scientology was trending on Twitter for 3 days, at least, I think.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. Yeah. I mean, it's about time that people started paying attention and, we'll just keep shining that bright light.
Right. That's exactly right. Okay, so I have a word of the week.
Nice.
So this word is Q&A, question and answer. The real world meaning. An event or session during which members of an audience have the opportunity to ask a notable person questions. Sentence. There was a lively Q&A with the keynote speaker.
So nice and normal. Such a great word and meaning.
It's so funny because it was my whole life ingrained as the Scientology meaning, which is not getting an answer to one's question or not getting compliance with an order, but accepting something else. Also generally to beat around the bush. So a sentence would be, I pledge to continue to expose Scientology abuse with absolutely no Q&A. At first I said, executives who Q&A, will get, I don't know what I said, but something that was terrible. I decided to write my own sentence with, I pledge to continue to expose Scientology abuse with no Q&A.
Yeah. And don't forget that the other context for Q&A is also in a counseling session where an auditor is expected to get an answer to the question no matter what and repeat it. And that's what you drill in the
training
communication
routine.
Drills. Yes. Of do birds fly or do fish
And then
swim?
I say, so let's do it. So you asked me, do birds fly?
Do birds fly?
No.
Thank you. Do birds fly?
My arm hurts.
I'm sorry. I'll repeat the auditing question. Do birds fly?
I want to go get a coffee.
I'll repeat the auditing question. Do birds fly?
You sound like a robot.
Flunk.
Anyway, it just gives me EBGBs to do that and to listen to you, because it is like, how unnatural is that?
I know.
It's as unnatural as you can be.
I had to get a pass on that by David Miscavige himself.
You did. Oh, how fun is that?
Yeah, not so much.
Yes. Okay, so that's the word of the week, Q&A. So we're going to have a Q&A at the end of this. What's up with this? At the end of this broadcast, we're going to
and not the Scientology definition, the real one, the real world version. Yay!
Yes. Okay, so then I got photo of the week, and it's a little bit of a montage that I put together, and it was one of my subscribers that wrote to me. I'm sorry, I'm probably making noise with my and suggested this because my beautiful friend Christy put up a wonderful outing that her and Mike and the kids did. And what she said is, we did not do much summering this year, but our summer was consumed with fighting medical battles, cancer, and persevering one day at a time. Today was a beautiful day to catch a piece of our lost summer.
Oh, that's amazing.
I just picked a few of the photos. They had so many. They had video and photos, and they were jumping in the water and everything like that. But I just wanted to grab that up and share it because it is beautiful, and it is freedom, and it's the the family being able to make memories and have a great time together. So I just wanted to share that.
That's amazing. Awesome.
Yes. Okay, so now we have quote of the week. This is, somebody sent this in to me, which his name is Richard. And he also sent me something else, which I'll show on Show and Tell. But so the quote of the week is from Buddha. And it's, in this world, there are two types of people that are hard to find. The one who is first to perform a kindness, and the one who is grateful and thankful for a kindness done. Nice. And I thought that was really nice. Yeah.
That's a great one. I love that.
Yeah. And then we have the comment of the week. Okay.
Ooh, I like your little graphic there. That's fancy. Yeah. Look at you. Yeah. Always upping your game, Amy.
I'm having fun with it.
Yep.
And this comment is someone who's going to get my book because I grabbed this comment, and here we go. This is Cody Mack 9144. He says, Amy, I just want you to know that I think you are a brave and beautiful person. This is not why I picked the comment, but it doesn't help. I mean, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. Your tenacity and bravery in the face of such terrible, disgusting, and abusive treatment gives me hope and inspiration, and undoubtedly to millions of others as well. Never stop standing up for what's right, and never forget that we all stand behind you and all of this cult's victims. Scientology has no hope for survival and will fade into history books as the opportunistic and abusive scam that it is. Thanks largely to people such as yourself, Matt, Mike, Leah, Claire, Mark, Aaron, and all the rest. Thank you for all you do. Anyway,
nice. That is amazing. Thank you, Cody Mack. Yes.
I thought that was really wonderful. Send me your contact information, and I'm going to send you an autographed book signed by myself and my awesome husband, Matt. Thank you.
Nice.
And so we've got a little bit of show and tell. Let me just see what it is. Oh, yeah. Okay. So Claire, this is a fun one.
Oh,
the Urban Dictionary. Clarified. Go ahead and read that, Claire.
Yes, Goldie sent this to me, and of course there's lots of typos, but that's okay. Claire Headley is the expert witness who defined Scientology, their policies, and hidden structure in the Masterson case. Hold on, let me get rid of the... Oh, there we go. Claire Headley clarified the philosophy of Scientology and described their hidden policies to the Masterson jury during the trial. Therefore, as of September 10th, 2023, clarified is in the Urban Dictionary, thanks to fan of SPTV.
I love that. I think it's so really funny. Yes. Okay, here's my new t-shirt and mugs and everything. I don't do cults.
Nice. That's awesome.
I did this design, and I was gonna, I tried it with a volcano. I tried it with like a UFO thing or whatever, and it just wasn't right. And this one, I like it like this,
Yep.
because it's POW. It's like that's it. I don't do cults, and in fact, we're gonna sock it to them.
Skadoosh, as Mark likes to say.
Skadoosh.
Skadoosh.
So yes, if you go to my store, which is on my YouTube channel, Fourth Wall, it's there along with many other things.
Nice.
So people can see
amazing.
That, yeah. So things that are coming up this new week. So on Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, I'm going live with Laura FM on Laura FM's channel.
Nice.
I'm supporting her. I love her so much. She just surpassed 2,000 subscribers, which I'm really happy for her. She's got wonderful content. Her story is just it moves me so much. And boy, I wish that we lived closer. I think about her often. I wish her 100% success, and I want to support her any way I can. Anyway.
Yes, that is amazing. I will definitely be tuning in.
Yes. And then I'm going to continue my video chapters of my book, Abuse at the Top. And I've got 2 of them. What is it? Oh, the LSD Purif is the next one, which is chapter 12, and the running program, which is chapter 13. So these 2 both cover the fact that Scientology takes their own rundowns and then uses them against people like me inside there as torture.
Yep.
And how that's done. So it was pretty fascinating. No fun at all.
No, not at all.
Yeah. And then Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern time, Matt and I are going to go live. So mark your calendars, set your notifications or whatever, because and get your questions ready, because it'll be a live Q&A. And because so many people have reached out with questions, and I would like to just do it with a live broadcast. That'd be wonderful.
Nice.
Yes. And then you're going to put up the next Where's Shelley video on Tuesday, right?
Yes, that's right. And that will be with Dylan Gill, he's actually 3rd generation Scientologist, and was in the Sea Org from the age of 14, Sea Organization and he was in the Messenger organization, and then at CST, Church of Spiritual Technology, which is of course where we believe Shelley is being held captive currently. So I'm talking with him, and this will be part 1. And so we still will have part 2 coming. Very interesting, very different perspective. Yeah, it's kind of seeing a different side of Shelley. So it's fascinating.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah. And then of course, last night we put out the video of the conversation I had with Leah and Mike regarding the LAPD meeting. So that's live now. And
yes.
And Leah just put out a video of her and Mike's conversation with Rachel Hastings. So
yes. Boy, I thought I had this the one with you and Leah and Mike. I downloaded it, but I'm sorry about that. So yeah, that's definitely, you can see it on Leah's channel, Mike's channel, and your channel, right?
Yes.
Exactly. So that's wonderful. And I know that Leah is broadcasting the video that they did with the cinematographer, cameraman.
Rachel Hastings, yeah.
Rachel Hastings, and that is probably airing right now. So after you're done watching here, go over there and get that checked out.
Yep. We tried to link to it so that it would redirect, but because it's not live, it's pre-recorded. It didn't work from our end.
It didn't work. But we wanted to tell you so that you would go there afterwards, and we can support Leah and Mike, and also Blown for Good. You can pick any of those channels. Okay, so that's what's coming for this new week. And this is just subscribe to both of our channels, Queen Bee SP and Blown for Good. So if you're watching this broadcast and you're not subscribed to either one of these channels, if you could do that, that would be amazing, because it helps us to continue to expose Scientology and their abuse.
Yes.
Okay.
And for next week, I didn't get pictures of it to you soon enough, but I have new Claire Bear merch at our
you
store.
Do?
Yes, I do.
You do. Oh,
I'll send
people
you
are going to want to
pics
see
for
that
next week. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. And so now we have a guest tonight, and they're going to come on at what time?
In 20 minutes.
In 20 minutes. So
Yes.
should we take some questions in the meantime?
Yes, that's a perfect idea.
And I'll just show you. Today's guest is going to be Cindy Plahuta.
Yes,
at
of
Cece's
Cece's Comfort Cooking.
How do you like that little thumbnail I did?
That is awesome. Look at that. So yeah, Cece is my family's family of choice. She's the only grandma my sons have ever known.
Yeah.
And they know she's not, it's not a blood relation,
biological,
but we all agree that she's an amazing grandma and way better than anything else we have in terms of actual family. When it comes to grandmas, we have lots of many other amazing family members that we've been able to reconnect with since leaving Scientology, but immediate family not so much. So,
right, yeah.
Yep.
So that'll be fun to talk to her. And I'll save what I'm gonna say for when she comes on.
Awesome.
Because
Sounds
I watched
good.
your video.
Oh, the interview that I did with her. Nice. Awesome.
Yep. Yeah. You ruined my makeup right before I was gonna go live.
Oh no, I'm sorry. It's the only time I've been made to cry when I was supposed to be being I was the interviewer. Yes.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
It's like I officiate funeral services, but some of them like really touch my heart and everything. And sometimes it's, because I'm an empath or whatever, I can feel people's emotions and a lot. Yes. And sometimes I can get choked up, but normally, totally professional and compassionate. And I'm the one who has to keep it together so everyone else can grieve. But I remember this one time I did this service for somebody, and so there were two brothers, and one brother was autistic, and then the other brother got kicked in the head by a horse and he needed medical attention his whole life. And but the autistic brother took care of him. It was his life's mission, and they would go around and mow people's lawns and stuff like that. And anyway, they're just precious people. And I did the one brother's service, and the autistic brother, oh my God, maybe I'll get choked up just saying it. But anyway, wrote something for me to say at the service, right? Oh God, I'm not even going to say it. Anyway, it was just like 4 words. And I said, in its powerful simplicity, he wrote, I'm going to miss you, my brother, like that. Right.
Oh my
and anyway,
gosh.
So I just lost it. The whole place lost it. We had to like get tissues all around.
Wow.
Oh, so sometimes you just really feel it. You feel the love, you feel the pain, you feel the compassion that people have. And anyway, and so it's hard to keep it together, and you don't always have to,
Yeah, no, I know. That's what I've come to terms with. It's okay and actually it's better. It's so crazy talking about empaths, how Scientology undermines and destroys that natural human capacity. Because I have the same thing. Like I feel all those emotions, and yet you're indoctrinated for decades in Scientology that you're supposed to just shut that down. You're not,
right.
If you're feeling any of that you naturally feel, and I do too, that your TRs are out, or you're
displaying human emotion.
Yes, exactly.
And reaction.
Feeling that human emotion and reaction, and it's such a natural thing. Anyway, talk about struggles.
It is. And do people know? I wonder if generally people understand. There's a policy in Scientology that says if you display human emotion and reaction repeatedly, it's an RPF offense, sent to the Rehabilitation Project Force for re-education.
Right.
Okay. And get your TRs and get your case off post. Stop dramatizing human emotion and reaction. And so the ideal scene for a Scientologist is really just a robot.
Right.
Literally,
an
as
android.
cold as chrome steel or whatever the hell the stupid.
An android, the
as hard
Terminator.
As cold. Yeah, a Terminator. Yeah. Anyway, so I had to relearn all of that coming into the real world,
Same.
And
I
yeah,
know.
it was hard to shed. It was hard to shed trying to work with somebody and it's like trying to kick their butt to get something done. And it's like, they don't really appreciate that.
Well, you've done an amazing job, Amy. Let me be the first to tell you that right now.
Likewise, my friend. Okay, gosh. Okay, so let's check out some questions, okay?
Yes, sounds good.
All right.
And I'll start looking for any that I missed.
Did we
too.
star these?
I starred a bunch.
Okay, so hi from Australia.
Yay, hello. Oh, John Satowski in the house.
Okay, good. I told John, he asked me if we wanted to, if I wanted chocolate, and I said no. I feel bad now. He sends all these wonderful things to people, and I turned him down. I'm sorry, John. I'm glad you're in the house.
He was asking about hats too. I'm like, you know, it's funny. It's funny for Aaron and Reese. It's just not my thing. I don't wear hats in real life anyway. So
yeah,
you know.
Yeah. But Northeast Pennsylvania. Okay. And then we got Montreal and Liz Ferris. So you starred all these things. I
did.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I didn't unstar them. That's what the problem is.
Oh,
we did a bunch of those.
On them.
Yeah.
But you can click on them without starring them.
You know? Yeah. I just didn't. The chat was flying by at the beginning, so I didn't want to miss any. That's why I did that.
Yes. Okay. You're forgiven.
Yes. Yay. Yay me.
It's okay. Okay. And then, so here's Denver Stevo. Go ahead and read that.
Yay, Denver Stevo in the house. Love you both. You are the cream and sugar in our SPTV coffee.
Oh, that's fun.
FYI, everyone's favorite homeboy Xenu will be making his first on-air appearance in 75 million years tonight at 9 over at my place on Xenu Nation. Nice. I'm dying to see that. Denver Stevo, I will tune in.
Yes. And then set your DVR for 75 million years from now. Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
That is awesome.
Here's another one from Denver Stevo.
Oh, and Osa smells like poo, and we can't wait to see how tonight's outro goes.
Yeah.
Well, Amy's in the driver's seat on this show. She's the executive producer. You know, obvious, needless to say, I got fired over at the BFG channel. I mean, duh.
There's some things that I can do, but there's some things I can't, like tell directions, you know, and
well, we have that in common too. There's lots of things. I mean, hey, I was doing sales tax all day long, deep in numbers. There's a lot of things that I can do.
Yes.
Evidently, on the spur of the moment, finding the outro video in the brand section of StreamYard, not my forte.
Wasn't it? Huh?
I did not cut the mustard.
That's funny. Here you go, Snooky.
Okay, Snooky, question. Do either of you know the first step in finding out if an elderly ESO member is okay or alive? My recommendation would be to, if this is a family member, then reach out to where you last knew that person to be located and just very, you know, calmly and persistently request information. And then from there, reach out to us if, you know, depending on the circumstances, and we can help with what's been recommended to us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Definitely. I mean, people have to be able to know where their loved one is and how they're doing, where they are and how they're doing.
Yep.
There are a lot of people who don't know. And they're writing to us saying, oh my God, I saw that you gave information on these people. What about this one and this one or whatever? And you know, we'll be happy to ask whatever we can and get that information to people because it's so important. And we do have a lot of recommendations. Like, it's not hard to find the phone number for the organization and just start calling for a family member. You know, that's absolutely something that can and should be done to establish the older person's whereabouts. Unfortunately, you know, I've seen it too often where, for example, there was an elder lady that was trying to get in touch with her family, and it just took too long to connect. And by the time they reached back
she had passed away, which is devastating, that we don't want that to happen. So if you have elderly family members, call, or have someone else call. Anyway, there's things that can and should be done.
Definitely. And if you need help or direction or something, write to any of us.
Yep.
Because we'd be glad to help. All right. The next one is for you, Claire.
Okay. Stephanie, hashtag AFC. What were Scientology saving the planet from? Great question. Excuse my ignorance. I can't work it out. You know what? To be frank, neither can we. But if you ask a Scientologist, they'll say, well, everyone here on Earth, we're on a prison planet. We were imported by, anyway, it's a long story, but essentially we all have reactive minds and we're dramatizing and everybody needs Scientology. So it's saving the planet from us, all of us humans, essentially. Would you answer that differently, Amy?
Yeah, I mean, you have to get into the mindset of a cult to understand that when you think that you're the only salvation for mankind and what you do and practice is the only thing that works and everything else is, trash and making cinders out of people, then you can kind of understand they're trying to save the planet from sure ruin by freeing people's reactive minds so that they can be free. But meantime, they entrap people and beat people and confine people and torture people and break apart families and empty bank accounts and every other insidious thing that you can imagine. So I don't think they're doing too well on that goal.
No, definitely not.
Mm-mm.
Abigail S. Speaking of Mark's humor, I watched a past live stream recently, May 15th, with Claire, Mark, Aaron, and Mike, and was reminded of something. Did Mark pay to become a bishop? He and Aaron were so excited. Thank you for the super chat, Abigail. So I'm not sure. I don't remember this conversation. I'd have to go back. Mark did not pay to become a bishop. No, he didn't. At least not to my knowledge. I don't know. Honey, if you're in the chat, can you tell me if I'm missing something? I've never seen him pay to become a bishop.
Maybe, was it him playing Jesus on the
that's what I was thinking. Yeah, when he was dressed
that's
up
what I
as
think
Jesus.
They were talking. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
And he didn't pay for that. He was an actor on set, and he wasn't paid for that either.
no, he didn't pay for it, and he wasn't paid for it.
Right.
And then his face went in the What is Scientology book.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they had to reprint it now that it's full of suppressive people, right?
Yes, that's exactly right.
It's so ridiculous.
Bota29, thank you for the super chat. So excited. I found Rinder's book at local library. They also had Ron Senior's and Jenna's. Nice. Now I need them to get Mark and Amy's. You ladies are the best. Only thing to look forward to on Wednesdays. Well, thank you. We appreciate you being here.
You know what some people say to do is reverse shoplift. Instead of taking a book, you bring a book in and drop it off and leave it there. And then people say, oh, how can I get a copy of this? And then they order it from the...
Oh, nice. That's funny. Yeah. Just like, Scientology does that all the time, I think.
Do they?
Well, yeah. Remember they were books into libraries, that whole program, and they were just shipping boxes and boxes of books to all the libraries, and the libraries weren't even unpacking them.
Leave it to Scientology.
Yep.
Anyway, I wasn't suggesting doing it. It was just a funny thought. Okay, terrible. So here's the next one.
That's the same one. It's all good. That's the one we just did. Yep, it's all good. Okay. Vivian Booth, question: are working Scientologists aware of how the church's numbers are shrinking? My answer to that is no, they are not. Because but there has to be some awareness, I think.
Well, Dave Miscavige is the ultimate spin doctor. So he will take a tragedy like somebody's death and make it sound like the sun shining out of his butt. And so in their events, they constantly are saying how this is expanding and that's expanding and like never before, and out the ceiling and down across the other side, you know, with their statistics and graphics. But so internally, information control is what cults use. And so they're trying to keep their members thinking that they're so accepted, such a household word, worldwide, you know, booming. And they just hope that the people don't open their eyes or go from, you know, their little small organization thinking they're the only one that's not expanding, and go across the street or to another city to another organization, see that they're also not expanding, because then the whole thing would just cave in on them. People would see it's a lie.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
DP Never In, thank you for the super sticker. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Jill Harrison, will Scientology say publicly if they declare Danny? My answer to that will be no. They will definitely not.
Yeah.
Yep. Because they
Did
know.
you send a link
ahead.
to Cindy, by the way?
I did. Yeah.
You did? Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure. I just thought of it.
Yeah. I will double check and make sure she got it.
Okay, good. It's just 5 minutes out. It's no big deal. I just suddenly thought, oh, did we send a link?
Yes. No, I did.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also don't think that she's in the studio.
Yay.
I also don't think that they will publicly say anything about that. If they would never, you know, publicly declare him, I don't think.
Yeah.
No. They want to be as quiet about this whole thing as possible, I think. You know?
Yeah, and his stepdad is already declared Joey Reach. Reach, I think it's pronounced. And so the last thing they want is him connecting up and speaking about the many things that he could speak about.
Yes, and he will.
Yep.
This is the final one I'll show, which is just hello, Betsy.
Betsy Sue, good to see you here. Yay.
Yes, new member. So I just wanted to acknowledge that. That's awesome.
Nice.
I don't know if it's a new member on where, but if it's on my channel, thank you. And so now let me show this beautiful little thumbnail again. So she can see. This is who we're bringing in with us now.
Yes.
Yay.
Hi,
Cece.
Amy, you made me look very good in that thumbnail. Thank you.
Hey, you know, I got it from your Facebook page, so. Yeah. I didn't crop out the person behind you. I hope they don't mind.
I didn't even know. Was it Matt? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea. But it's so nice to see you. And this is the first time you and I are ever talking.
Yes, I'm really happy about this day.
Yes, I'm so happy too. I mean, you sent me an email a couple years ago about the possibility of you moving to the area where I was living. Yeah. So we were thinking, oh, we're going to get some new friends. But then that fell through.
Yes, so, we decided to only go part of the way across the United States. Yes.
Okay.
Anyway.
Well, nice. Yeah, wonderful.
I've always felt like I have a connection with you, with my very good friend who you were married to. And I always thought so highly of you because the way he talked about you to me.
Oh my gosh. My husband?
David Paul.
Oh, David Paul. David Paul, my first husband.
Yes.
Oh, he talked highly of me.
Very.
I'm not that surprised, right?
She's like, wait a minute, what did he say?
Oh, he just told me that she was super young when they were married and her uncle passed away.
Super young when we got married. I'll tell you a quick little story. So we were both on the rehabilitation project force, right? Because we had sex before we got married.
Oh.
And he was reprieved because he spoke 5 languages and he was sent on a translations project to get all the books translated in all these different languages, right? So I'm 16 years old. I'm on the rehabilitation project force by myself. He's off and doing his project. He was 10 years older than me, by the way. He should have been in big trouble. But so I'm on the rehabilitation project force, but he wouldn't agree to get off of the RPF unless they allowed him and I to get married. Okay. And take a 3-week vacation. to go see both of our families.
Wow.
While I'm on the RPF and while he's on the RPF, but it was approved. And so we got married on my 17th birthday because my parents wouldn't let me get married until I turned 17. So on my 17th birthday, we got married. It was one of these things of like, he said, I'm getting married, so I'm just going along with it, you know. But anyway, I finally got off the rehabilitation project force, but yeah, we were married for about 6 years. Now, our first Christmas, which was 2 months after we got married, he asked me what I wanted for Christmas, and I said I wanted a light bright.
Oh my God.
What's that? Wait,
and he
you
said-
lost me. What's that?
It's a
No,
toy.
it's a toy. It has colorful pegs that you place into this lit thing, and you can
Okay.
do different designs with it.
Yeah.
And I think the age group is between 5 and 12 for it. And it was something that I really liked as a kid, and I was longing for home, and I wanted a light bright. And he said that in his mind, that's when he realized that he really did rob the cradle.
Oh, wow. Well, he did. He did.
Yes. Unfortunately, he passed away a couple years ago. I don't know if you knew that, Cindy.
I did.
We got word on that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yep. But that was a long time ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Anyways, so
Yes,
Claire,
and
take it
Amy,
away.
yeah, Amy was telling me, Cece, that she watched our interview right before she went live, and we ruined her makeup because she was
Yeah.
crying.
And I got to tell you the point in the video when that happened, when I started crying, which was yeah, so here I go again. No, anyway. Just when you guys got out of the car and you're coming to, yeah, and the kids are there and they're coming to see, and Mark is meeting you, I guess, for the first time or whatever. And
Mhm.
but anyway, just you getting out of the car and seeing each other, and it was just like, for after how long had it been? You know, it's like coming
19 years.
home. Like when you have loved ones that you haven't seen for years and years and years, and you're finally reunited despite all odds, it's just emotional. And I was
Yes.
feeling it. I was feeling it.
Completely. It had been, I think we calculated it had been 18 or 19 years.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
18 or 19.
Yeah.
It was a long time. And she
Yeah.
just got whisked out of our life, like overnight. Like I knew that she'd been getting recruited a lot on course, but I did not realize they were just going to whisk her right away with no
Yeah.
explanation at all. And we would say, my kids and I, when we'd go to events, did you see Claire? Did you see Claire? For years? Absolutely.
Oh my God.
And then my son finally saw her in like 97 at the shrine.
Mhm.
And she told my son that she had married. And so then I knew I was going to have, when I got out, I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to find her. I thought she was doing great, though. She was at the int base eating organic food.
Yeah, the wonderful things that people think. Like my mom thought it was just all, roses up there and stuff, because all you hear is that it's the top and it's the best, and it's like, this is the world we're trying to create. And boy, if you only knew what was really going on there, And of course, we can't say it to anybody. Finally, when I got out and I went to quickly see my mom before the OSA got there. And by the way, I was in her house when OSA arrived and hid in the back room, but I did get to her before they got to her. And I got to tell her what really was going on. I said, don't believe what they're going to tell you, because look, I saw what I saw, and I'm going to stand by that. And they can't wipe it out of my brain and shame me into not knowing what I saw. So,
Right.
and she stuck with me, even though, we had our own disconnection thing, blah, 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 but that all got sorted out.
Which is amazing. I'm so grateful for that.
I was on the free winds, and you probably knew Milt and Laura Wolf.
Of course.
Yes.
And they were really, really trying to recruit me in the Sea Org. That was when the ship came to Ensenada. which was not very far from LA. So all these
Yeah.
guys at Public and ESSA went to the
We-
Freedmans.
Yeah, we went there.
The int base.
We
Yeah,
went
I
there.
went there.
Yes.
That's when I got to do the bilges. Yeah, we all got to go.
1993.
Yes.
And
Yep.
anyway, they were recruiting us, and I mean, just constant on the entire time we were there. And one of the things they told us was the food that you all got at the int base and on the free winds was organic meat, organic vegetables. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they did get some organic stuff. I don't know, but
Once.
that didn't. Yeah, I mean, me having an organic carrot didn't make up for the beatings and abuse.
Yeah.
That reminds me.
I didn't see anything organic. I mean, maybe if you count organic food as putting a P-Touch label on it that says organic makes it organic. I never had it. Anyway, I'm sure David Miscavige had organic food all the time.
Flown in from all over the world, right?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, my journey as a person who was not in the Sea Org was so different, yet so similar to you all's, because you are a prisoner just in your mind when you're not in the Sea Org. You don't watch TV.
No.
If you you know, like I did the bridge, I did Scientology. So, you know, you don't watch TV. You can't talk to anybody about anything that has any meaning. You can't have emotions. You do what's called TR routines on almost everything you do. And it's just like hammered into your mind, not to flinch, not to make a comment. I just wonder sometimes if that ever gets completely unraveled out of our minds after it was so embedded for so long. I don't
I
know.
think it does. I think it does unravel. You know, I think it does. I think it's not a permanent scar. At least I say and declare over myself, I don't have permanent scars. I can heal. I can heal and lose the cult mindset. And I mean, it's a process. You know, it takes time. I mean, I remember when I first came out, it was like Scientology's good, but the organization is bad. To this entire thing is a complete destructive, abusive cult.
It takes
It takes a while. It takes a minute. You know, it was your whole life. So
yeah. And it's interesting that you say that, because to me, the reason I couldn't initially face that Scientology was all nonsense was not so much because I was a firm believer. It was because of the labels that meant would then apply to me. Like if I, you know, anyway, it unraveled, you know, and certainly I consider it a work in progress. I also think that, yes, parts were broken, but they healed stronger, you know, so here I am today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here you are.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, I had to change my location today because I have a new family member. As Claire knows, and Amy,
Yes.
we lost our dog a couple months ago, which was just horrible for us. And we've
I
been
know.
on the fence of if we were going to get an animal. We had her for a long time. And a cat found us the other day. And
Is that right?
very bad shape. So anyway, she did not want me to go to my office. So I'm like, okay, how am I going to do this video and have the cat next to me? Because I still am not sure about her cat box abilities. So anyway,
Right.
set up in our living room.
Nice. Yes.
Yeah. We all have to make compromises for our beautiful furry children.
Yes, we do. We do completely.
Matt's on duty right now with Kiwi and Mango,
Oh,
trying to keep them entertained and quiet.
yes.
It's a chore.
Yeah, and I thought maybe we could talk to Cece about some of your experiences when you were regging or, you know, collecting money for the superpower building. Any noteworthy stories you would like to share regarding that?
You know, there were so many, so many, because I did that activity. I did fundraising for Superpower for 2 years full time. And there were a lot of it was interesting because it was different than regging. So
Okay.
what would happen is we got trained on doing fundraising from actual WOG fundraising books. We'd have to read them. We'd have to drill them. I was not in the Sea Org. I was getting paid a commission on these donations for the superpower building. So
You did get a commission, and or what was that commission? I'm just curious how they had that set up. Was that 10%?
yeah.
I mean, that's a good deal if you're going to be like, people could live on that.
Yeah, they could.
10%.
I mean, it would vary from week to week, and there was pretty high pressure.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of people come and go. That was a little bit of an eye opener. Like I was in LA at the time, and I worked under David Light, who was one of the oldest Sea Org members, and he was a good friend for a long time. I'd known him, but under that pressure, you don't exactly aren't friends all the time.
No,
Right.
no, not under
No.
that kind of pressure, right?
Yeah. So we pretty much didn't go to people's houses unannounced. It was very different. You would send cards, you would make appointments and that sort of thing. So that was a little more on my level than going and beating down somebody's door at 10 o'clock at night. But I will tell you one story that was quite funny. We did do that once. We had a guy that we knew that had a lot of money. He lived out kind of far from LA, maybe like 45 minutes. I'm going to say it was like Santa Clarita or something like that, in a new neighborhood. He had a brand new house built. We go knock on the door. He just had his concrete driveway, this amazing, huge concrete driveway put in. He's got these 2 bulldogs and a smoking cigar room and all this stuff. And they let us come in. We talked to them about superpower, and they're like, "Oh, we have work to do. You'll have to leave." It's like, I don't know. It was maybe like 8 o'clock at night, but it was dark. It was winter time. And David Light, who was older then, he drove off the driveway into the dirt. Well, his car got stuck.
Oh my gosh.
And of course, the church didn't pay for AAA. So we had to knock on the guy's door, ask him if we could call a tow truck.
Oh,
They were
gosh.
very gracious. They let us call a tow truck. We waited outside. The tow truck came. And the tow truck, it was stuck so bad, couldn't get us not loosened up. So now we're out there really embarrassed. It's like 2 hours have passed. We're outside and it's all dark and everything. And so the tow truck company had to call another tow truck.
Oh
And
my
he had to
gosh.
give it another try. And when he was giving it another try, the tow truck got stuck.
No.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
They had this tow truck come that was like for semi trucks. So they're out there in the dark in this guy's neighborhood, finally gets the tow truck unstuck and us. And the guy that we were asking for money was so mad because it had ruined his driveway.
I'm sure
Oh
it did.
no. Oh my gosh.
But I'm like, well, there you go. Anyway, because it was different than regging for services, we would only approach people that were known to donate, that were big-hearted, who wanted to give, or maybe they just needed a little push to give. But anyway, it was
Yeah.
interesting. 2 years.
I would have hated that job,
Yeah.
honestly.
It was
Oh,
very uncomfortable.
Yeah. Would
Very,
be.
very
Always asking people for their money.
But
you know.
the thing is, I was on OT7. Mostly I saw a lot of good things up to that point, but working, and I don't know if you knew this room that was right next to the canteen, that super little room, that's where we were. Super little skinny room.
Uh-huh.
And so to have like 5 or 6 people working in there was pretty uncomfortable. But I saw so much crap that went on with the Sea Org. Like there was, like David Light was
I'm
in
sure.
his 60s, and he got in a fist fight with a 17-year-old, new Sea Org member. And being in a room that small, it was kind of uncomfortable. But
why did he get in a fist fight with a 17-year-old?
so this kid actually was from a very wealthy, very well-known Scientology family from the East Coast. And he got pushed to join the Sea Org. Well, that family went to Lori Webster, who was the head of the Superpower Project, and said, listen, you guys can have my kid, but you've got to put him in the Superpower Project or some very elite position. So they did that. He came to the Superpower Project. He lasted maybe 5 days.
Wow.
So what happened was during those 5 days, he was going after post. I mean, I wouldn't think it would have been a bad thing, but I wasn't in the Sea Org. He was going down the street around the corner to this store. It was like the One-Stop Shop or something.
Yeah.
Or George's General Store. One Stop Shop was in Clearwater, but it was probably the George's General Store, I think was,
It was across the street.
Okay. Yep.
And they had computers. And so he was going there after post and he was playing video games. He was playing video games until like 3, 4 in the morning, going back to bed and then getting up and going to
He was a kid.
You can do that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Well, it did not go over well at all. And so by about the 5th day, he came down to the Superpower office after muster and David Light let him have it. And then he started to try to fight David Light right in this little room.
Oh my gosh.
And after they kind of calmed down, because Richard Alicata and I and Adrian were in there trying to get everything sorted out. And the next thing I knew, by afternoon, he was routing out of the Sea Org. He was gone, never seen again, sent home to his parents.
Yeah, take my kid.
Probably with a giant, probably with a giant freeloader bill that the Sea Org knew that the family would pay in a heartbeat.
Right. He'd just done the EPF, so he just came out of it. So anyway,
crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy that went on. Crazy.
Yeah, and so of course fundraising was for the fundraising for the Superpower building that they were building in Clearwater, Florida. But I'm curious to know your thoughts. Like they did not used to previously do fundraising, and in fact, I believe that Hubbard said not to do fundraising. Do you know about that, Amy?
Yeah, there's advices that say don't do it because you're asking for money for nothing. And so you don't want to just ask for pure donations. You want to get people to, and I'm not saying what's right, what's not right or whatever, but at least he was saying we have to deliver something for what people are paying for. But that got thrown out the window by David Miscavige.
Mm-hmm. The other thing that became very apparent after the first year was that we would get set a very high target every Thursday. Very high. Like maybe the lowest target was like 18 million for the week.
What?
Not kidding.
Yeah. Okay, let me just say something. This is for the Superpower building?
Yes.
Okay, and they wanted $18 million a week. Okay.
A week.
How many years did they use that incompletely renovated Superpower cash cow building to make money? They were purposely not getting it done because it brought in so much money. I want to know how much they regged for that damn thing and how much it actually cost to build. I mean, it's just literally financial irregularities like beyond the beyond.
Yeah, yes. And can we just say, by the way, too, so you were fundraising for the Superpower building. Those are restricted funds. So I'd be very curious to know if anyone's ever audited that as to where those funds were used and how they were used. That would be an interesting audit.
Yes,
IRS.
Yes,
and there
it
were
would be.
so many people over the years that regged did fundraising for the Superpower building, and some of them were really well known, and some of them pulled in massive amounts of money every single week, like Charmaine Rogers and her husband Bruce. I mean, huge amount of money. So we would go anywhere from maybe 18 million a week up to 25 million a week, and that would be during LRH's birthday.
I mean,
So,
a week, and it went on for years.
years. Now, I was never privy on how much actually was made. I was not allowed to come to the Thursday meeting. After 2 o'clock, I was kicked out of the office because I wasn't C work. But one particular LRH birthday, we had a target of 25 million. And we had done very well. We had closed some people to finish cornerstones and that sort of thing. So I was told that I was going to get, if we made the target of 25 million, everybody was going to get a gift from Lori Webster. And I'm like, wow, this is awesome, right? I get my 10%. I've had a good week and I get a gift. So I'm all excited. The girl that I did fundraising with, her name was Adrienne Gall. It later became Adrienne Burns. She was from Hungary. She was in the ESO. She was so excited about this gift, even more than I was. I'm like, this is great. She was just like, couldn't stand it. She was so excited. And so like,
It doesn't take much to excite a CIRG member. We used to lose our minds over dominoes and donuts.
I know.
That's for
And
sure.
on the good weeks, they would kick me out, at 2 o'clock, and they would get, like, for something special, they would get pizza and a movie in that little office. I did not get invited because I wasn't SO, but I was very
Didn't
happy.
even get a piece of pizza? Come
No.
on now. Wow.
No piece of pizza. And
But go ahead.
Pizza.
Yes.
I gotta know what that stupid gift was. A Way to
Yes.
Happiness book or what?
No, I still have it. It's in a box. I got
What
a
is it?
special ink pen, like from a LeBlanc or something.
Mont Blanc. Mont Blanc. We were just talking about Mont Blanc pens the other day.
I was very excited about it, but I was like, I just read like, I don't know, $70,000 this week. And I got a pen that cost $50. I don't know anything about pens.
Oh, Mont Blanc pens are more pricey than that, but still, your point
Not
stands.
very much. And so what? A pen? It's ridiculous.
Right.
Meantime, they're getting 10% of every single thing that they reg, and that is a lot of money.
Yeah.
When you're talking tens of millions of dollars a week.
Yes. The thing is, if like Charmaine and Bruce did it at reg somebody and they didn't have a fundraiser with them, then they did not pay out a 10% commission. So, sometimes when I'd have some of my selectees or people that said they were going to finish a cornerstone or do one or do a second one or whatever, and they were planning trip to Flag, I'd always have the superpower guys go down there and I'd call the person on the phone and say, they're going to meet with you right now because I didn't want to lose my 10%.
And-
they
sorry,
would have.
Yeah.
Explain
to
a
me
cornerstone?
What the cornerstone is.
Yeah, I was just going to ask that too.
Oh, cornerstone. So
Oops.
for 35, okay, this sounds bad. For $35,000, you could have your name put on a plaque and put in the superpower office. You also were going to be given first dibs on receiving superpower when it was available, and you would get a discount for superpower. It wasn't a big discount. It was like 20 or 10 or 20%. But here's the kicker. So for 2 years, I went every single day diligently. I drove to LA. I lived up in Lake Arrowhead, and I regged people and got in a lot of money. And then when I left the church, they decided to open the superpower building. So I wrote a letter to the Church of Scientology and I said, hey, we paid a lot of money in for that building, and I did a lot of fundraising for it. We are going to go to the superpower event. I'm going to let you know. Within about 2 days, I got an answer back. You are not allowed to come on our premises or we're going to kick you out.
Wow.
Yeah, I would have liked to have been there, though, because I don't know if you remember when that opened and Mike Render was like in a helicopter and they did this whole message in the sky. Well, maybe it was an airplane.
Where's Shelley? Was it Where is Shelley?
Was it?
I don't know, because on his
the
YouTube,
60
he's got
minutes.
this plane flying over saying, where's Shelley? I don't know.
Yes,
if that was
that's
him.
right. That's right. Yeah, no, it was definitely for a TV show. Cece, do you mind if we relocate you to your well-lit office?
Oh, yes, I will do
People are
that.
saying they're not going to be able to see you anymore. We'll just jump you
Or
out
turn
for
on
dump
some
you out for a
lights.
Get
minute.
a light. I'll be right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
There we go.
yeah, yeah.
Thanks for
Or
people
turn on-
commenting on that. I didn't want to cut off the story, but I could see the light slowly draining. I'm like, uh-oh, we're losing her.
She needs to put on a few lights.
Yeah, there we
Oh,
go.
that's-
Much better.
There we go.
Much better. There we go.
Anyway,
Yes.
so that was my superpower stories. I mean, if I think back on it, I have a lot of them. Unique people. A lot of people. It was so interesting too. The thing that kind of, it was kind of leading me out the door was that we talked to really nice people, really, really nice people. So many of them had paid for their bridge, but weren't allowed to do their bridge. Like one was a doctor, a very well-known Beverly Hills doctor. He had been on the solo course for 10 years. He was never going to be allowed to do his OT levels, but they took his money.
Yeah.
He could
Yeah,
not-
I think do you remember the stat, Amy, the what was it, the liability stat of undelivered services?
Total unused APs,
That's
advance
right.
payments.
Yes. And that was
Mhm.
by my recollection easily tens of millions of dollars.
yes, and
I think it was 400 million, like almost $500 million of undelivered services.
And it was always just
combined.
going further and further down and down and down, like it,
Because they always made more
never-
money than they
Yes.
delivered, so the gap was just huge and getting
Yeah.
bigger. hmm
that's crazy.
And it's a liability because people who have not received those services could ask for their money back.
Right.
But that money's spent, so it's a real problem. So I think they devised a new solution for that: refuse any refund request.
Right. So yeah, that's a complete farce. They acknowledge it's on their books as a liability, and yet they will never pay people back. I mean, come on now.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
my
think it's required that they do. Part of their tax exemption is if somebody asks for their money back, they're supposed to get it back. And in fact, the policies on that had to be included as part of the whole submission to get their tax exemption. So after getting tax exemption, they can just go, we're not going to do this anymore. Good. IRS, go do a new inspection.
Yeah.
Thorough,
So
thorough one.
Yeah, so they should pull out that package that they submitted to the IRS and find out what it says about arbitration in there,
It says,
because it says absolutely nothing.
yeah. And that means that people cannot, oh my God. Anyway, I could go on a total roll, but IRS, it wasn't just give them exemption and then dust your hands off and forget about it. Okay. You got to keep the pressure on. You got to keep looking, and they have to still be in compliance in order to have tax exempt status. They have
That's
to
right.
still be in compliance. If they're not in compliance with all of those millions of things that you made them get into compliance with, then they don't qualify.
Yep, that's right.
I'm sure they don't have a lot of those points completely handled.
I know of several.
Oh, I'm sure. Completely.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah,
that
crazy,
happened to
crazy.
my husband, when I first met him, he had paid like $30,000, I think, to flag. He got down there, and I think on his first day, he was told to go to a chaplain, and they told him that he wasn't going to be allowed to get auditing, and he didn't get his money back. So then my daughter,
Unbelievable.
the same thing happened when she went to flag. She was sent away at 10:30 at night after she got there, and luckily, I had a very good friend that she ran into that helped her find a hotel room and that sort of thing. She was an adult, but she did not know anything about where she was, what to do, anything. And she knew I was going to be really mad when I found out.
Wow.
Ugh,
So
that kind of stuff makes me so mad.
Yeah, completely.
it's sad. Anyway,
Yeah.
and as long as I was a Scientologist, Flag was always supposed to be the friendliest place. It always
That was their motto, the friendliest place in the whole world. That was their motto, given to them by L. Ron Hubbard.
yes.
Not.
Worked when I first got involved. I worked at a printing company, and they did the printing for the church. And that's what so much of it said was the friendliest place, the friendliest
That's
place
why.
on Earth, on planet Earth.
It was L. Ron Hubbard's advice for the flag land base. And that was the motto that they were supposed to use. And so it was in all their promo.
And was it also, so where did the Mecca of technical perfection come from? Was that
I don't
also
know.
from Hubbard, or was that from David Miscavige later?
Let me put myself on mute and ask my brilliant husband that question.
Okay.
While you
Yeah, I'm
carry
just
on.
curious. I'm just curious because it's kind of interesting how it's transformed, and now they don't even
I
let
know.
people in at that level. Like you have to go to the local organization.
Yeah,
It's
what a
crazy.
Mecca. Mecca.
They talk out of both sides of their mouth, really, because you'll see on a lot of promo to this day, it'll say all are welcome.
Right.
And all are not welcome.
No, definitely not.
At the friendliest place on earth.
Yeah, I mean, of course, we could do a whole series on the lies Scientology tells. What's true for you is what's true. We accept people of all religions.
Oh, yes.
You know, there's no such thing as disconnection when these are all policies and practices. Oh, Fair Game was canceled because they have one piece of paper. No, there's hundreds and thousands of writings from L. Ron Hubbard that talk about exactly how Office of Special Affairs is to attack, silence, muzzle anyone who speaks out against Scientology.
Yes, we all know that is absolutely true.
Yes.
I mean, we've had our share of that.
For sure. Completely.
I love the most famous lies that Scientology tells. We should do a little compilation on that.
Yes.
Yeah,
No, we were
because it
just
would
saying
be
that.
helpful.
Yeah.
It would be helpful for oh, did I miss you said that? Yeah, it should definitely be done. Yep. Because people who are under the radar need to see it. People who are still in that kind of sneak and watch need to see that. People who are considering maybe I want to join a cult.
Yes.
They see it.
And I think that debunking those lies is most important for the people under the radar still in, because of course they go, well, yeah, of course, you know, like the amount of thousands of Scientologists that left Scientology when Tommy Davis got on national news and said, there's no such thing as disconnection. You know,
that got me on fire. I was in the middle of the worst disconnection situation ever, and there's his face on CNN saying there's no such thing as disconnection. Oh my God!
I know. I
said, you know what?
I had two toddlers, or you know, a toddler and an infant at that time that had never and most likely will never meet my mother. So you know, I know it totally like. Anyway, the lies.
Oh yeah. So that's right when I started speaking out. I said, that's it. I'm going to go public. And so let me just answer your question. So Matt said he didn't know, but I think I remember now on the Mecca of technical perfection versus the friendliest place in the whole wide world is because public estates, which then later turned into Flag Crew, the L. Ron Hubbard advices for that is making it the friendliest place in the whole world. So as a hotel, you know, and that kind of thing.
Oh, yes.
And then the Flag Service Org was the Mecca of technical perfection.
Okay.
Because that's where you get the higher levels. And it was the highest until the Free Winds stole OT8 from them.
Right.
But yeah. So that's the difference. One was for the FSO. L. Ron Hubbard advices for the Flag Land Base. One was for public estates, and the other one was for the Flag Service Org.
Okay, that makes perfect sense.
You know, you bring up the hotel, and that's one thing that always made me mad. I've always been kind of a little bit of a diva, and I would always stay at the Sandcastle because some of the other hotels just weren't to my liking. But the thing that really made me mad is you could never go swimming in that pool.
Why is that? It's there and you can't go in it. That's the same thing at the base. Like, it's beautiful. It sits there collecting dust. No one gets to enjoy it.
I know.
Why could you not swim in it?
Oh, you would be considered such a dilettante if you could go swimming maybe at midnight or something, but it would be pretty badly looked upon. But you know who did get to go swimming when I was there once? Was Lisa Marie Presley's kids. And
of course, you got to schmooze the celebrities so that they, they talk nice about Scientology.
Yes, I used to take my daughter with me on 6-month checks. She could not go swimming in the pool. No, because if she
That's
had time to do
ridiculous.
that, they wanted her to go on a mini, like one of the
Courses.
the little courses.
Hmm. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. And they don't have, see, Scientology is like at this dead run at all times, saving the planet, and any idleness is like reported on and frowned upon, and and handled forcefully. So yeah, there's absolutely no pleasure.
Yep,
No,
absolutely not.
no.
And by the way, while we have Cece here,
Yeah.
feel free to the audience watching, feel free to post any comments you would like to ask of Cece, and also don't forget to like and subscribe to Cece's new SPTV cooking channel, Cece's Comfort Cooking. There we
Look
go.
at this.
Boom.
You.
Do I have my act together or what?
You are
Subscribe.
so amazing, Amy. You're just
Yay.
amazing.
That's awesome.
Yes.
And there has been a lot of special cooking going on this week and a lot of experimentation, which my husband really loves because he gets to do the eating of the experiments. So
Oh boy, if we lived close, I would love to sample all that stuff.
I
Yes.
know.
I look at the
Close.
the thumbnails of your videos and stuff like that. It all looks amazing.
And I love that you did the Headley family barbecue baked beans.
Oh, people
for
have
that.
talked about those.
Yeah, people were asking for that recipe.
Yes.
I want to show another thing real quick, just while I'm in the banner section of the StreamYard here. I want to show you this. Send a thank you and buy our beloved SPTV moderator Goldie a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/@Goldie862. She's just always present and always amazing. And so show your love and support for our wonderful moderator, Goldie.
She is so amazing. We are just, how everything happened. I guess we were all just in the right place at the right time for the seeds of SPTV Nation. And, of course, Aaron was a driving force for many of us, kind of sticking our toe in the water. But yeah, it's amazing. The amount of growth that we've seen this year is phenomenal. And I'm just so proud of everyone who's lending their voice to expose Scientology abuse, and we'll keep on keeping on.
Yes, keep on keeping on.
Yep.
Did we want to see if there's any questions and stuff like that in here?
Sure. And maybe what we'll do, we can do a giveaway real quick. I just realized we didn't do that before we brought Cece on. Cece, you want to pick a giveaway? You won't be able to pull it up on the screen, but if you tell me the username that you pick, we'll do a merch giveaway first from Blown for Good store. So to everybody watching, go ahead and put merch in the comments. And Cece, you see the comments, right, Cece?
I just realized I could hit a button and see them.
Perfect. Okay, awesome. So people are going to start posting merch, and then once we start seeing them fly by for merch, tell us the username that you pick, and I'll try and catch it and put it up on the screen.
Okay.
Just
Jill
sorry?
Jill Harrison.
Okay, Jill Harrison. Congratulations. You win our merch giveaway. Boom. There we go.
You found it. You found it. Good.
I did.
Oh, hi, Jill. You get it. You get a merch. Yay.
So, Jill, go to the Blown for Good merch store and find what you would like and email me the link to that item, claire@blownforgood.com. You don't have to give me your address, size, or anything. Just send me the item and I will generate a giveaway link and send that right back to you.
Nice.
Congratulations. There we go. Awesome. Okay, sorry. What were you going to say to go on to next, Amy? I just realized we hadn't done that yet, and we had committed to giveaways. So wanted to catch up.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And we can do another one at the end, either a Blown for Good book or one of my books or whatever.
Perfect.
No problem.
Sounds good.
So should we go on to some questions? So I don't know. They're not going to necessarily be for Cindy, but that doesn't matter. we're
Yeah,
just
feel
gonna go
free to
ahead and-
chime in on any questions you'd like to contribute to, Cece.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Okay,
get-
so I'm just gonna start throwing them up here. Here we go.
Perfect. Michelle Carpenter, shout out to I Got Out. Also, if Amy would like to share her story on life after MLM for Scientology Focus Cult Month, we would love her, and I can email. Yes.
What's MLM?
So, life after MLM, multi-level marketing. This is with Roberta Blevins, I think is her last name. I hope I didn't mess that up. She participated in the Fair Game podcast with Mike and Leah. There are many, many parallels between MLM and cults.
Oh, that's interesting. I never even thought of that.
Yeah, many.
Yeah.
So her episode on Fair Game was about one of those MLMs. Oh, good. Michelle Carpenter says, I got it. Yay. And I think, gosh, I'm trying to remember which MLM it was. But like, and I'm drawing a blank, so that's okay. But
Okay.
either way,
Well, wonderful. But
she's
yeah,
an amazing
yeah.
person. She got out of, it just gets to be, I mean, I've heard so many nightmare stories about that. It's, again, there's a lot of parallels. It's not the Sea organization, but no,
Cults come in all kinds of shades and shapes and sizes and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Michelle Carpenter, Lula Rich. Yeah,
Okay.
Lula That's what on Amazon Prime was Roberta's documentary.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, so feel free. Like my email for anybody who wants to contact me is amy@scobee-publishing.com. So yes, absolutely.
Nice.
I'm willing to talk to anybody, really.
Yes.
I did have a comment asking again about the Yorkshire pudding.
Oh,
Okay.
yes. So I have to send you that recipe, right, Cece? I didn't send that to you yet, did I?
You did. No.
Oh, I
you
did.
didn't. No, you didn't. But there has been a little scheduling thing. It is coming up. We're going to have Mark and Claire and myself making Yorkshire pudding. It's coming up.
Ah, wow, very sophisticated.
We made Yorkshire pudding when we had a friend of ours visiting from England at the beginning of August, and we made Yorkshire pudding that day. Except that it also corresponded with our neighbor's birthday, and so there was a ladies' night. So I made everything and prepped everything, and I was like, "Okay, Mark, you've got this." Because Mark and I always double team on Yorkshire pudding. It's quite the operation, and it's
Really?
amazing. Yes, he is really a really great partner in the kitchen. I will absolutely, hands
Give him
down.
kudos,
He
huh?
is. Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. So. But I prepped everything. I was like, okay, here, you're good. You're just going to cook them and you're good to go. And he was like, I don't know about this, but okay. Obviously you have to go off for your ladies' night birthday party. So, so he made them all. And between him and the kids and our visitors, they ate them all. So I came back and they were like, everything was wonderful. It's all gone. You should have made more.
Wow. Matt and I are going to have to go to Colorado just for you guys.
Yes.
Yorkshire pudding. I
Yes.
know.
Come for Thanksgiving, Amy. I'm just throwing that out
Maybe
there.
we will. Maybe we will. Because we were
I'll
talking
send you
about
an invite.
Okay, good. All right. So here's the next one.
All right. DP Neverin. Question. Claire, did you get the name of the officer who said he believed you after your meeting with LAPD? He's brave. Yes. Yeah. Of the 10 people, I would say that there were 2 that we had positive reactions from. And I will say too, just because I know that obviously the video that we put out has caused a lot of ripples and my inbox has completely drowned today. But other meetings that we've had with other agencies, I will not name, have been so very, very different in a very positive way. So there is hope, but there's also, we need to keep shining the light where the light belongs. So there's so many things in the works. Oh my goodness, this has been a whirlwind year and it's not over yet. So there you go.
It is not over.
Yep. But you know how it is, Amy, right? We always talk about, we're off doing SP things. So we're not going to talk about it because, things are going in the right direction. I'm really,
Yes.
really
Yeah.
motivated. Anyway,
So much going on.
yeah. Donna Rose, idea. Mug with CH on one side. Oh, come on now. On the opposite side. Oh, I don't know if I say, oh, come on now, or
Oh, yeah, you
I
do.
definitely
You
say,
do.
oh, hey now. And
You
I
say, come on now.
You do.
Oh, I do? Okay, maybe
Yeah.
I do. All right.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
We caught you.
Yeah.
But that's funny.
And by the
And
way,
you do
just
say hey now too.
I do. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Somebody in the comments said 2 out of 10 in regards to the LAPD meeting. Wow, Scientology really has soaked the LAPD. There were also 2 internal affairs people there, and so I'm willing to say, yeah, there's absolutely not good things going on there, but I don't think it's all of them. I know there are good people. We just have to find them. So anyway, just want to say that.
I always say follow the money,
Right.
like, because they're just slicking their hands, paying off here, paying off there, schmoozing with this one, schmoozing with that, writing checks here, writing checks there. And it's like, oh, you're my best friend. But come on, there's
Yep.
got to be people with integrity.
Yep.
There's
There
gotta
are.
be.
There are.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are good people. And like I said, we found some amazing contacts in multiple different other agencies. So I'm really encouraged by that. And we just need to keep on. So
Yes.
I truthfully wasn't even surprised with that video that came out about what happened, because pretty much at any event that you went to that was local, the LA police were there.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, they were very much there and had a presence known. There was no doubt about that at all.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. They would go to the Celebrity Center gala events. They were always at author services during the Hollywood Christmas parade and Winter Wonderland, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah.
They would
Yeah.
speak at the events, almost every time that was local.
Mhm.
Even if
Yeah.
we were
They
outside.
got big checks. They got big checks,
Mhm.
from Scientology. And this is why.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys were aware of it, but the church would do a lot of free events on L. Ron Hubbard Way. They would shut the street down on both ends. Did you guys know about that?
Mm-hmm.
They did them a lot when I
Mhm.
was fundraising with Superpower. They'd have the bouncy houses, that little animal where you could pet the animals and that sort of thing, live music. It was all free. And they would always have the LAPD there speaking and working.
Yeah.
So these were not Scientology purposed events. They were just to lure in the general public.
It was really to save point Scientology for the people that lived all the way around Pac Base.
I see. Yeah.
They had them very often.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Ember Loon. Question. As a counselor, what is the best thing I can do when working with those who have escaped Scientology? Advice? That's a great question. We have now added to the Aftermath Foundation website some start here steps with some like super baby steps of, like listen to some podcasts and read these books that are not directly yet about Scientology stories, because I think, and I'd love to get your thoughts on this, Cindy, too. It's my opinion that it's very difficult for a Scientologist to pick up a book that's, like Going Clear, for example, by Lawrence Wright. It's a brilliant book, but it's too overt.
Right.
Yeah.
The best thing I think to do is to ask questions. Don't give opinion. Just ask questions, like very light. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? Would you like to go do blah? Because, I've helped a few Sea Org members that have come out. They do not know if it's night or day out. And, they don't even know how to drive a car or how to turn on a stove or shop for groceries, and they definitely don't know how to budget their money. So most of them have such difficulty thinking about the fact that David Miscavige could be the suppressive, or LRH might not have told the truth all the time. You can't just go blah, and you can't say, read this book. It's too, as we said, it's too steep of a gradient.
Yeah.
The best thing you can do is give them shelter, food, just like my cat that I had just adopted, and a very safe place and a computer, because they will eventually start looking on their own too.
Yes.
But questions are the best.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
And also truth, because, you know, I got my stepdad out of Scientology by basically like an intervention, by saying, I'm going to sit down. My mom is too important. You need to know the truth and decide if what you're supporting is something you should be supporting or not. Is it worth our family being destroyed over? And I told him I went to the FBI, and these are the things that I told the FBI. These are the things I witnessed with my own eyeballs. These are the things that I experienced myself. And you need to have all this information, because the information control on people is what limits their ability to think. You can't think if you don't have the information. You can't rationalize things. You can't compare notes. You can't do anything if you're thought stopping all the time.
Yep.
And so, like, getting the information, and it'll sink in, you know, or whatever, it takes time or whatever. But yeah, right then and there, he said, well, I don't want to support an abusive, you know, leader in Scientology. So, and he still wanted to continue to practice Scientology. Obviously, he'd been in there for 35 years or something. But, and that's all gone now too. But at that time, that was fine. Go ahead. But just don't support that organization anymore, and just baby steps, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Completely.
Yeah, because the people, when you're in, you're not allowed to do any sort of critical thinking. At all, because if you have any sort of a thought that's not positive about the organization or a person in it, Sea Org or public, it gets cut off at the pass. Like, that's something that you have to spend a lot of time or money on if you're not in the Sea Org, getting all those evil thoughts taken care of, and getting out in the open. So there's no critical thinking allowed at all. So how could you ever get out? It's very difficult.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's worse than quitting smoking.
Yeah. And then
that was hard.
The smoke and mirrors keep you in. Like, you know, like you said, you have the critical thought. Well, a normal person would go, oh, well, let me look at this up and let me read what's on the internet. But no, a Scientologist will not do that, especially not because it's such a small world and they're so leveraged and controlled by their kids being in Scientology, or their husband or their family being in Scientology, or they work for a Scientologist, and, you know, all the layer upon layer upon layer of really harsh consequences if they take that first baby step out the door.
Yeah.
Remember what
this one's for you, Cece.
Cece, okay, beautific vision. Cece, I really like your cooking channel. It's really fun.
Oh, great. I'm glad you like it. That really makes me happy. I work very hard at it.
Yes. And your channel's growing fast too, which is wonderful.
Yes. I have 1,100 subscribers yesterday morning when I woke up. I almost had a heart attack of happiness.
Yes. It's amazing.
Yes.
That was just awesome.
Yes. Abigail S. It was during the Danny Masterson trial and the fake bishop was in the courtroom. Oh, okay. Someone said in a super chat, it was a pay for play church. So Mark suggested he and Aaron do it. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, they were joking. They didn't do that.
No. Yeah.
No. Well, we don't do that.
I get what they're saying, though.
Yeah, I do too.
I'm putting up a couple of these ones and then taking them right down. Amy, my light brown.
I thought they were great too.
Here's another one. I had
I
a
had a
light bright
light
as a
bright.
kid.
Nice.
Oh,
The
that's so
question
funny.
is, do you still have one?
No. Oh, I got to tell you a funny thing. And here's the other one.
DP Never and Amy, your background for the channel looks like a light
Looks
bright.
like a light
Coincidence? Oh, that's amazing.
But let me just tell you that last Christmas, it was just so funny. Like I told the story to my family, which is Matt's sisters and brother-in-law. We were at their house and stuff like that. I told them this funny story about the light bright, and then we were passing out gifts and I opened up my gift and it's a freaking light bright. I'm like, what the hell? Coincidence? You're giving me a light bright? And it's because he did not know why. My brother-in-law did not know why, but he just had the idea that he needed to buy a light bright. He bought the light bright, brought it in, didn't wrap it for anybody. But after I told the story, he ran to the back room, wrapped it up, and added it to the tree as my gift.
Oh,
if
my
you can believe
gosh. That's
And
crazy.
so- Yes. So I did donate it and didn't keep it. But boy, was that a fun experience. I was like shocked when I opened up the present. It was a light bright. Oh my God.
That's amazing.
Anyway,
That
like
is
you read my
funny.
mind.
I thought those were a lot of fun.
I did. It was just something creative and it reminded me of home.
Mhm.
I was so homesick.
I'll bet.
Kitty and Lou, question, 2 things. 1, did you ladies notice differences of how men versus women were treated in Scientology? And 2, Amy, I sent a few pics of elderly people still in at COS near me in Facebook Messenger. All right.
So Kitty and Lou, okay, so when I saw this comment, I went into my messenger to check and I don't have anything. So please either resend
It
or
might
send
be
it to my
under
email.
message requests if you're not friends with her on Facebook.
Oh, maybe that's what happened. Okay.
It's can be
so I'll
difficult.
check that.
It can be challenging. Facebook has this thing like message requests, and they've buried them pretty deep. So every once in a while, I will go and be like, oh shoot.
And there's a bunch of them. That's happened to me too. It's not obvious when somebody who's not your friend sends you something. I know.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll look for that, and then otherwise send it to me to my email, which is amy@scobee-publishing.com. And then, did you ladies notice the difference between how men versus women were treated in the Sea Org? It's identical. You're just a robot. Everyone's a robot, right?
Yeah. What was your perspective on that, Cece?
On men and women being treated differently, I didn't really see any difference in that. After you paid for a service, you were treated fairly harshly. There was no so what happened to me
Hi,
is,
sweetheart, give me your money. Thank you, you butthead.
Get out of here.
I had a little bit different time of it. I did a couple of courses because I worked for this company that was owned by Scientologists. Married a guy I really didn't know, moved to LA, which was really not very smart. But I had like 3 Regs come to my house at like 11 o'clock at night. Claire, you were still around then.
Yeah.
And they stayed till 1 a.m. and convinced me to buy for my entire bridge, all of that money in one shot, which I did.
Wow.
So I went in the next day. I'm all excited. I'm going to start. And, I'm at the bottom of the bridge. And I'm telling you, it was not as friendly as I thought over there. It was military, like, get in line, go sit on the couch for 10 hours. It doesn't matter if you have kids and people to take care of. You just sit there and wait your turn. And maybe you'll get a chance at this later today. And the next day was just the same. And it went on for years and years and years.
Wow.
Yep.
And and you got but you did make it all the way up to the OT level 7, right?
I did.
But you didn't do OT 8, right?
I did not.
Yeah.
Because in 1997, I'm going to say, new technology came out, and I was told that I had to go to Flag, Clearwater, and I had to redo all of that course and at my own expense. It would take, a few months. And if I wasn't willing to do that, I had to send in my auditing materials to Flag. Quite truthfully, I gladly did.
Mhm.
Those 6-month checks were brutal. I mean,
Yeah.
absolutely brutal. Somebody said when I first started looking online that one of the best sounds in the world was the click of your seatbelt when you were on a plane leaving Clearwater. And I remember those moments because you were not clear, because they could come to the gate still,
Oh yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
And they
And
would
then
stop you. I've been
don't
stopped in very weird spots when leaving.
just would give you like such
Really?
EBGB stomach. But don't you have to run the gauntlet to get out of
Oh,
there.
yes.
It's a routing form that takes you through all, and if you have any slightest indicator of any BIs, which is bad indicators, um, you're not leaving. You're not going anywhere. And it doesn't matter what your job is, what your kids are, nothing.
Wow.
And the more money that you have, the more likely you were to get stopped.
Yeah.
So I knew some people that would be there 6 months for a 6-month check.
Oh, come on.
Unbelievable.
So my second to the last time I went to Flag, this was in 2002, I think it was. I was summoned to go to Flag by Lori Webster for Superpower. She said she wanted to ask me some questions and help me. But what happened when I got there? Put on the meter. And I had, a few days of getting sec checked. And finally, I just said, I don't have any money. I can't pay for any more. I'm done. So they let me route out. Well, that process takes a long time. I try to get, because, you have to stop at ABLE, at WISE, at CCHR, and all of these offices, and you have to donate to each one. I mean, it's really sick. You even have to go to the bookstore to find out if there's any books possible that you don't have.
Oh my
And then even if you
gosh.
have them, you need to donate to libraries. So you need to, it's donate. IRS. This
Yes,
place is
please.
a money-making machine.
Yes.
Yep.
And that's all they do. It's crazy.
So I get all the way through the gauntlet. I have a plane reservation. I'm downstairs sitting on the couch at the Sandcastle. My last person was the LRH host. I thought, I'm going to wax the biggest smile on my face because nothing's going to happen. I'm all set. I'm sitting there, and this 15-year-old page comes down with a folder to come and get me, to tell me I have to go to ethics. I said, sorry, I already went to ethics. That was like 15 stops ago. And I got signed off. Nope, you're going to ethics. So I go to ethics. I find out the reason I'm being sent there is because I was on the elevator, and a friend of mine was on the elevator, and the senior CS, which was my CS. And
which is a case supervisor.
yes, so I get on the elevator, I see this friend, and I gave him a very big hug, and I said, I'm routing out, I'm almost done. I was so grateful to spend the last few days sitting on the couch with you. He was his wife was an FSM and a friend of my daughter's,
which is a field staff member.
Yes.
FSM, field staff member.
Yes.
Yeah.
Meaning
Yes.
they get
She
money
was
from other people.
Yes.
She was my daughter was on staff and still is on staff in Orange County, California. Because I gave the guy a hug on the elevator in front of this 15-year-old page and my senior case supervisor, I got sent to ethics because I was 2D flowing the sky. Explain that one, Amy.
Oh, I'll explain it. You smiled. Yeah.
Yeah. So supposedly I was putting the moves on the sky in the elevator because I gave him a hug.
Unbelievable.
And so I was so darn mad. I said, I am not agreeing to this. I'm not doing anything, and I'm leaving. And the ethics officer said, you're not going out the door unless you do something. And I said, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll read the viewpoint policy again, because I had to read it every day in the superpower office. And so I read the viewpoint policy in like 2 minutes flat. I said, sign. And he did, and I left. I only went back one other time, and it was even worse than that trip. So anyway,
Oh my gosh.
What a nightmare. What a
crazy. I
nightmare.
mean, and I paid for that.
Yeah. You.
That's the really bad thing. I paid hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars for that treatment.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing, but oh my God, you paid for it.
Gosh, I did ask for my money back, and I got refused that too. But anyway, that's another.
Oh, really?
Ugh.
I think you should persist. But here, let me get to a couple of these. Like this says, here you go.
Andy Fabulous. When Scientology sends a bill, why don't you ask for a refund?
Yeah, just because I'm
Cece
thinking
just
about
said she did.
Yeah.
Yes.
And but boy,
It's mind blowing.
isn't it like robbery? I guess
Yeah.
you gave it to, but is it considered a donation? No, it's for something that you didn't get, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
so that's something that they owe you. That's a repayment. It's not, you didn't get a service that you're dissatisfied with and asking for money back. You actually didn't get anything for it, so you're owed that money back.
Yep.
Right.
Exactly.
So it's against
And
the law.
so when
for
I
them.
asked for a refund, I have the letter. Gosh, next time I do a live, I should bring that letter out. So I got a letter from him and said, we absolutely are not going to give you your money back because you got a tax deduction. You put your payments to the Church of Scientology on your taxes.
Wow.
How do they know?
So
How do they know that
IRS
you did that?
Yeah,
Are they
so IRS
studying
they're
your
using
tax?
yeah, so so IRS pay attention. Now Scientology is using you to refuse to give money back. Unbelievable.
Oh, I love that. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And how do they know? How are they going through? Are they going through your submitted taxes? Like, is that their property?
Man, I don't know. Maybe it's public information. I have no idea.
And who even cares? They give it back to you, and you can report it on the year tax return that the event occurred, and the IRS can tell you how to deal with that. That's not a reason.
I thought it was
not a reason.
extremely weak. Like, that's the best you can come up with?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you back that $5 that I got off of my taxes.
Right.
Money back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
$5.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Abigail S. Cindy, do you do live streams? If so, when?
This is my first live stream, so I don't know.
I've been telling
happy to be
Cece,
invited.
Amy, I've been telling Cece that she and I should do a live stream on her cooking channel, and we'll each have our 5 favorite cooking things. Like I already know what mine are and what you use it for, and go through and just, say, here's what this is and here's what we use this for. Yeah, exactly. That's what I think.
Nice.
That'd be
It'd
fun.
really fun.
And then Cindy, she'll control all the back end stuff because she knows that really well. And
Except the outro video. I mean, full disclosure.
Let me tell you something. I was going to bail you out on that outro video, but there was no outro video there. So that's why you couldn't find it. It wasn't there. So
yeah.
Anyway, right, Mark?
Yeah. Well, he was trying to show it to me. In his defense, he was trying. Oh, we're not on BFG team. I was looking to see if I could find it, but he was going to show me right before this. He was like, "Look, it's right. You just go right here." But then we were running behind, and my light wasn't turning on, and he was like, "Remember, I put an app on your computer. You just have to." And I'm just like, "Oh my gosh."
I saw him in there helping you. That was awesome.
Yes.
Here's the next one for Cece.
All right. I watch Cece's Comfort Cooking channel. I've made the Headley's barbecue beans and love them. Yay.
Good.
Awesome.
That recipe Claire has perfected, and my husband absolutely 100% loves that. It's like probably his favorite food. So when I made them for my video, I had put them in a crock pot to cook for like 3 hours, and I had to leave. I had a cousin that was sick, and I took them some food, and I came back, and my husband had come home before I did, like 15 minutes. That's all. And he drained my pot down like a third of a big crock pot. I'm like, oh my gosh, you do love them.
Nice.
I mentioned at the end of the video that the pot was much shorter because my husband couldn't help himself.
I
Yes.
can't remember. Did I, in the recipe that I sent you, did I say the exact barbecue sauce that we use?
No, you did not.
Oh, I didn't. Oh my
No.
gosh. I need to send that to you.
Okay.
Because for ours, there's a very specific, it's Sweet Baby Ray's honey barbecue sauce. That's the
Oh.
exact barbecue sauce that we use. Anyway, sorry that wasn't in there.
You know, recently I have tried a couple of different kinds of sausage too. And
Nice.
it's turned out really good. It just
Nice.
with a little different flavors. And Amy, have you tried the recipe yet?
I have not.
It's pretty darn good.
Yes.
I'm going to Colorado though, so I can try all this stuff.
Yes, exactly. Okay, here we go. Andy Fabulous. Fifi just made a large pan fireman's lasagna ambrosia. Okay, nice. Awesome.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
It sounds very good.
Bonbon, super sticker. Thank you, Bonbon. We appreciate
Thank
you
you.
being here.
Yes.
And Robin Dickman, question, does Scientology have to get permission to get divorced?
Well, I don't know how it is if you're in the Sea Org, but public, yes and no. It depends on who you are. If you're currently on a course, if you're currently getting auditing, you would go to ethics and you would have to work through and get approval for getting divorced if you were. If not, if you were kind of more on the outskirts, you might be able to skirt by without all the hoopla.
Wouldn't they require you to get marriage counseling?
Yes.
Yeah. Which you have to pay for, of course.
See, that's why. It's not because they care about your marriage. It's because
Right.
it's another service they can get you to pay for and drain your account over.
Yeah, and nor is it because marriage counseling will save your marriage, because it won't.
Right.
And interestingly enough, to answer that question from the perspective of being in the C organization, no, you did not have to have approval. Most of the time, in fact, it was being forced on you, like
Encouraged.
the many times that I was told flat out that if I didn't divorce Mark, I was going to lose my job and end up in the hole, which I did. Yeah.
Sickening.
Yeah.
They put you in the hole over not divorcing Mark?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
So when you talk, going back to the marriage counseling, at least for public, when you supposedly, I think it might even be a policy that marriage counseling is supposed to be inexpensive because it's you can do it when you're just getting into Scientology. It's a very basic thing.
Yep.
So I think it was around $400, but if you had gone up the steps of Scientology, guess what? They wanted to charge you like $7,000-8,000.
Yeah,
for
because you had
expensive.
yes, because you were on the you were on the OT levels. I'm trying not to use all the terminology, but so when you're, for example, OT5, operating Thetan level 5, you can only be audited by someone who's of that same case level. So
Yeah.
now you're paying the same prices as for an upper level, just for marriage counseling.
Right. And
Yeah.
basically the questions are what have you not told your spouse?
What have
Yeah,
you done
yeah.
to your spouse? What have you not told your spouse?
What have you withheld? What have you
from your
done?
spouse?
What have
Yeah.
you done? What have you withheld? What have you done? What have you withheld? What have you done? What have you withheld? What have you done? What have you withheld?
With both partners in the room taking turns
Yeah.
answering. That's it. We just told you what marriage counseling is, folks.
That's it.
That's it.
$8,000 for 12 hours of that.
That's right.
$1,000.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So I got
Torture.
fat. I got smart to that stuff pretty fast, and I would have very fast realizations. Like, oh yeah, I'm good. I can talk to him now.
Suddenly he's so handsome.
But
I
still
love
want a
you.
divorce. I'm going to the divorce attorney tomorrow, but I'm all done.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Pretend happiness.
Yep.
Yeah, it's torture. So let me go back over here.
Yeah.
One time I went on the free winds. I don't know if you guys want to hear this, but
Yeah.
my daughter wanted to go on the free winds, and she was married, and I had just got married to Matt, and we were all happy. And she said, I want you to go with me. And I'm like, I cannot afford the free winds. I mean, it's so darn expensive. And the airline tickets alone, you got to have 2 layovers, and it's like an $800 plane ticket. And I really didn't want to go. I've been many times, really not fun at all.
No.
Like being tortured, but you're on a tin vessel that you can't get off of. So anyway, I go with her, and actually, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it than just the auditing part. So I got determined when I got there, I wasn't on OT7 because I got taken off because I didn't have 6 months of accommodations and not working to redo the course, right, and get back on.
Yeah.
So anyway, they decided that I needed to do an OT debug, $2,000. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll play because my daughter wants to come, and I'm going to save her from this experience that I know she's going to have. It's not going to be good. So anyway, on my part of it, I go in, do the OT debug, which is auditing, and guess what it was?
What?
It was only sec checking.
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah, so OT debug is when you're a Scientologist, when you get on the upper levels, and actually they even do it if you hit the state of clear and then don't immediately move on to the OT levels, they have this extra service. So you paid $2,000, and it's, I can't remember what the steps are, but it's literally like ridiculous how silly the steps are. So to hear you paid $2,000. So basically at any point, if you stop moving and stop paying for services and stop doing your auditing, then you're moved over to, okay, what have you done that you haven't told us about, blah, blah, blah. And that's essentially what it was in summary, right?
Exactly. So anyway, by day 2, I had the fastest realization ever. The problem is I need to get on OT7. I feel better. Thank you.
Wow, you're really good at that, Cece.
Yeah.
Then what happened was, here's how bad it was when I got out. So my daughter's there. She wants to do a course. Well, she can't get through any courses because she has a study problem. The very first thing that you have to do is you have to do this policy that's called Keeping Scientology Working. It's at the beginning of every course. She could not get through it.
It's huge. It's huge. So it's ridiculous. Yeah.
I spent days with her in the course room on the ship and trying to get her through that policy. And I never got her all the way through it. So about day 6, I was leaving on day 7, and I said, hey, I don't, whatever happens here, I'm leaving. I'm going home. It already cost me $11,000 to be there from the airline, the $2,000, and for accommodations. So, and that was shared accommodations. So I'm going to tell you what happened. So my daughter and I are sharing a room, and when you get off of course every night at 10 o'clock, the Sea Org guys are there on both sides of the hallway, and they block the stairs so you can't go down to your room. They want to funnel you into the Starlight Ballroom. I think it's called the Starlight Ballroom.
Cabaret. I think, wasn't it called Starlight Cabaret?
Starlight Cabaret.
Okay. So you go there, and it's like a little...
Sounds good, but it's a piece of dog poop.
It's a very small auditorium. It's on a ship. And so the first night we're like, okay, we'll go do it. It's just it's asking you for money for the IS.
Of course.
You can't leave. They shut the door and you aren't allowed to leave. I didn't have any money then. I was just like, I can't do this. I just don't have any more to give. And so I left, and I got, kind of beat up, not physically, but beat up mentally, because they didn't want me to go out the door. And I said, I'm going. And I took my daughter with me. The next night, I told my daughter, I said, listen, at break, I went down, I got some licorice, because we both like licorice. I got some Pepsi because that's what I liked. And I got her whatever drink that she liked out of the canteen. I said, we're set up. They're going to try to get us to go back tonight for this IS regging. I just know it. So what I'm going to do is, I don't know what you're going to do. You can do whatever you want, but I'm going to tell them I got to go to the bathroom and put the course pack down, and I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to read, because we both love to read this certain author. We both had one of his books. We were just hanging out reading. And so I said, I'm going to go read the latest Peter Mayle book, and I'm going to be super happy. I hope that you do well. And she was a little bit of a dilemma. And she's like, I think I'm going to come with you. I'm like, great. I'm all set up if you want to come down there. So the course is out. Sea Org members are lined up, as I knew they would be. And I'm like, sorry, I got to go down to my room and put this up. No, you don't. You can just take it to the Starlight. I'm like, no, I really have to go to the bathroom. Oh, there's a bathroom down there. I'm like, no, I'm going to go put my books up, and I'm going to go to the bathroom. So I went down there. There's no lock on our door. Did you know that?
No,
So
I didn't know that.
Like $400 a night hotel room that I'm sharing with my daughter, and no lock on the door.
Wow.
So, like, whatever. Nobody's going to bother me. I go down there.
You put a chair under it.
That would have been a smart thing to do. So I'm eating my licorice. I'm drinking my Pepsi. I got my humor book out. Here comes my daughter. And I'm like, oh, you decided to come down here? She's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to come down here. I hope nobody comes looking for us. I'm like, if they do, we just won't answer the door. No big deal. So she gets settled in on her bunk, and she's got her book and her drink and some licorice, and we're just like hanging out. Pretty soon we hear knock, knock, knock on the door. And I go, shh, don't answer. Knock, knock, knock. And neither one of us said anything. So we heard footsteps going away. Well, it was about 10 minutes later. Somebody came and was knocking on the door. And then guess what they did?
Opened it up.
The door. Yeah.
Wow.
And
You could have been dressing.
Demanded that we go down to the Starlight, whatever it was called. And I said, I am not going, and you need to get out of my room.
Wow.
I was really mad. And also I had my daughter, and I was trying to protect her because I knew they would be regging her the entire time that she was there. So
yeah. Wow. That's crazy. $400 a night, and you don't even have an option to lock the door. They can barge in at any time. Wow.
It was
not
crazy.
surprising. Not surprising. It never
They
is.
think they own you. They think they own every single little aspect of you, your life, your bank account, your family, your body, everything. They think they own all of it and have full rights over it. 100%.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. So again, one of the sweetest sounds in the world was going here.
Yes.
Having
The
that
click.
sound of that click of that seatbelt.
Taking off, being like, freedom.
Going back
Yes.
to Colorado.
Yeah. Evangeline, question. Claire, I won the 41K subscriber BFG book. So excited. Did you get my email? Yes, I got your email. And your book is on the way. So there you go. Yay.
Yay.
Peggy P, question. So at Amy Scobee, would you say that information better than feelings when working with an ex-Scientologist in early stage therapy?
Yeah, I would. I absolutely would. Because feelings, you're trained as a Scientologist to not have any, really. So you don't want to go that direction because they also think it's like a negative thing to have feelings or emotions or whatever and associate it with a bad thing. But information, you can't dispute it. If you have it, then it's got to go into your mind, and then you start computing, that starts adding up because they see some of this stuff. You can't just lie forever. I mean, they really do see some of this stuff. So
Yeah.
anyway.
Though information does run the risk of they'll just shut down, but at least in your case, it was your family. They know you, they love you, they trust you.
And I
So-
wasn't attacking his beliefs at all. I was attacking things that are against the law.
Right.
You know, and that they should be criminally charged for.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
Tinkle Tits McGee, welcome to the SPTV
Tinkle
fam.
Tits.
Cindy, you're doing wonderful. Well, thank you, Tinkle Tits.
You got that name just so that we had to say it.
Of course. Of course. That's okay. I've got
This
broad
person wanted to
shoulders.
know where Kiwi was, but that was who I was holding up. Yeah, somebody said, "Oh, there's Mango," but it was Kiwi. Kiwi's getting really big. And I
Nice.
thought he was going to be this little thing, cute little, you know, and now he's like, I think he's part German Shepherd.
Oh my gosh.
No, he's getting really big.
Oh,
And
that's
all of his teeth are
hilarious.
falling out and new ones are coming in now. So it's fun.
OBG Foster, question: what do Scientologists think of the Moonies? Oh, my answer to that is Scientologists will say, "Oh, that's a cult."
Yes.
And yeah, you know, we didn't know anything about what they even were. you
No.
know? I think
No.
it's just somebody that didn't have hair and wore robes or something and was like, okay. I
Yeah.
didn't know anything about it. And
Yeah, me neither.
we weren't going to study it because we're so nose down, you know,
Mhm.
concentrating on what we were doing, not worried about somebody else.
Yep.
Well, you would see them at the airport sometimes. And, you know, I don't know about being in the SO, but on the public side, cult was one of the very worst words you could ever have come out of your mouth. It was so bad. It was almost, well, I think it was worse than the word wog. Like,
Mhm.
so derogatory.
Yep.
I don't know if
Yeah.
you guys ever said the word cult in the C word, but man, that was really
When-
bad.
Well, you know, if someone ever referred to Scientology as a cult, you were like shocked. Like, you know, you're obviously seriously misinformed because we're not a cult. But
Yes.
asked me to define what a cult was, I had no idea. So
Yeah.
really, you know, you just think of some strange UFO person or something. I don't know. And but when I actually started studying it, I was fascinated because it's just like check Scientology fit all the boxes plus even more, you know.
Yeah.
And I realized
sorry.
I was in a cult.
Yeah.
My whole life, I spent my whole life in a cult. I mean, what a realization to have, you know?
Yeah. I've told this story before, but when I was like 9 or 10, I was studying at St. Hill in England, and I'd seen the word cult either in the newspaper or graffitied on a wall somewhere. And so I looked it up in the dictionary, and I couldn't understand why people were flipping out. I'm like, we fit the definition. What's the problem here, folks? Because I, of course, didn't understand the negative connotation that people associate with that word. But by the dictionary definition, I was like, well, that's right. Well, why are we fighting this?
Because you're not going to get tax exempt status
Yeah.
as a cult.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, Duchess Diana at Claire, you had a good run. I was one of the people who begged to see more of you back in your first YouTube days. Well, thank you, Duchess Diana. I know it's a sad day when I get fired, but it's okay.
That's funny.
Stephanie, hashtag AFC, rightio. I'll stay away from that then. Thank you. Yes, great plan, Stephanie. We appreciate the comment, and thanks for being here, and thanks for the super chat. Yes, definitely. Abigail S. It was during. Oh, we did this one.
We did. Okay.
Yeah, she put it later as a super chat, so I think it pulled up
Oh.
further. Yeah.
Mhm.
OBG Foster. I was one of those librarians who threw out those books. Wow, there you go. That was when we were talking about all the Scientology books that were getting shipped to libraries as a big push to get L. Ron Hubbard books into all the libraries. And OBG Foster was confirming as a librarian who threw out those books. There you go.
Yay.
Cornelius Antonius declaration. Amy, I am so glad you did not go the way of Debbie Cook. Me too.
Mhm.
Can't pay for my silence. No, thank
Nope.
you.
Yep. J Dice, sec check, aka we're going up your backside with a microscope until we find something. Yep, pretty much.
Literally.
Kind of sums
J
it up
Dice,
right there.
I highlighted that one, J Dice, because that's like a perfect analogy. Exactly. That's what they do.
Yes.
So when I
But-
was on doing my preps to do my OT levels, I kept getting sec checks, and my auditor said, "You've got to give something up, or they won't stop this, and you won't be able to do your OT levels." So I came up with I forgot to return a video at the video store.
Yeah. See, you came up with something. They had something to write down.
I know, it was so namby-pamby, but the only thing I did was go home after 10 o'clock at night every night, get up the next morning and
Yeah.
be on course at 9 o'clock. So it was kind of hard to have anything there to.
That's us in the Sea Org every single day working our guts out, but constantly being asked for our crimes against humanity. Hey man, I'm here full time. I ditched everything else to be here
Yeah.
doing this, and it just, they won't let up. They're unrelentless. I mean, it just will not, unrelenting, will not let up.
Yep, absolutely. Leslie Bishop, Amy, your t-shirt should say repeat RPF particle. There you go.
See, if you didn't know, I went to the RPF 4 freaking times.
I have watched all of your videos.
You have.
Fascinated, and I didn't even know that you were in the RPF with David Paul. Like he didn't tell me that.
Oh yeah, minor detail.
A lot.
Yeah.
I'm glad you made it out.
Yes, I did.
Anyone who is in Scientology only ever compares notes on important things after they leave.
Yeah. never went. Speaking of your OT levels.
Yeah, the suppressive pups question. Cece, what did you think when you did OT3?
Oh my goodness. Oh my, that's a really good question. So, there's such a lead up. Oh my gosh, like you paid all this money, you've done all these courses, all this sec checking, you've helped, you've donated to the IAS, you have to be a certain membership, and so you finally get in that OT3 course room, and when I read the materials, I was like, what does this mean? I couldn't believe it. I actually was twinning with Nancy Cartwright at the time.
Oh, wow. No kidding.
And so twinning means that you were doing the course and the study of the operating Thetan level 3 together. Like you were moving through the check sheet, doing the steps, doing the whole, all of that training that you do before you start auditing on the level with Nancy Cartwright?
Yes, part of it.
Okay.
So anyway, I opened this pack, and the funny thing is, and I think I've told you this, Claire, one of my OT3 soups was Mark's mom.
Yes, I forgot that.
He was not there the day that I opened the pack, though. So I don't know if you guys know this, but when you do an OT level, you have to go get this pack out of a certain drawer, and it's somehow you plug it in for an alarm or something.
Yeah, there's like double doors. There's a whole very elaborate security system so that it's actually physically impossible to leave the room with the pack. So there's like usually double doors, magnetic locks, and then once you plug it in to they have like a whole plug-in system, and then you can open it up and read it. Like it's real high level security. I mean, I don't know. It's probably not. I'm not a security expert, but this is the system they put in place after somebody showed up in the Europe organization and stole the materials back in the 80s and then put them all over the internet, which is how everybody can now see them. But yeah, this was their handling for that.
Yes. So it was quite a procedure every time, like course started, everybody had to come in, and I think you had to check out a certain number of the course pack or something.
Yes.
And then the soup would give it to you, and you had to go to your table, and you really didn't move that pack because you didn't want anything happening. And so anyway, everybody had their course packs out. Like people were there doing OT1, OT2, OT3 in that course room. And I had gotten through all of the prior materials, and now it's finally my turn to get it and open it. And I opened it up and I'm like, I was thinking to myself, what is this? Like, this seems a little odd. And then I thought, I have misunderstood words, obviously. So I went through, I reread it, and I'm like, I don't know. That's quite a lot of misunderstood words. So then the third time I went through it and I thought, I'm going to start word clearing this from the top, looking up words in the dictionary. Did that after the third time. I called the course soup over and I said, I really don't get this. This is pretty out there. And she's like, oh, no, it's fine. And I said, well, how would you possibly know that you have these entities on you or in you without seeing them? And how am I supposed to be able to talk to these and communicate with these entities? She said to me, have you ever been in a room where the lights have gone off and it's all full of men and you're the only woman in there? And I said, no. No.
Right?
Oh yeah, every day.
Of course, that's super commonplace.
And she's like, well, just imagine if that happened, how you would feel and how you would know people were there, even though it was dark. I'm like, okay. And I went back to the table and I was like, I'm not going to get any help here. This is crazy. So anyway, I drug my heels from then until the time I was supposed to go and audit this stuff. Because usually I was just like a speed demon trying to get through everything. I mean, I slowed it way down. I went home and talked to my husband, who was on OT7 at the time. And I'm like, I really don't understand what in the world this is all about. He's like, we can't talk about it.
Right.
You're going to get me in trouble if we talk about it. I'm like, can you come in the course room with me tomorrow? Because I don't get this at all. And he said, no, well, we could ask. He did go and ask, but they wouldn't let him in. So I just had to wing it. It was a difficulty every day. Like, you're required 3 hours a day on OT3 that you have to audit these invisible thetans that are in you, on you.
Yeah, and you're just sitting in the room by yourself, holding the two cans in the one hand and watching the e-meter with the other, and telepathically, I mean, oh my gosh, like, talk about how to get yourself wrapped into a ball.
Mind warp.
Yeah, like
yeah, it's painful. It's really
get
mind
stuck
numbing.
in the center of that spider web. Good luck getting out.
I did
Oh my
hundreds
gosh.
of hours of that stuff.
And they wouldn't let me go home on OT3 with the materials. So you had to go down the street, down Fountain, and they'd rented some little apartments down there, and you had to have a special code and go in there. The room was like 6 by 6, and sit in there by yourself for 3 hours plus a day and do this. So, it was a little bit like the air was let out of my balloon a little bit.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, I could be wrong, but it was either, so when I did OT3, it was either you had to do a total of 100 or maybe even 300 hours of that we just described.
Oh, it was a long time.
Yeah.
And it was every single day. So, it was rough. Again, you just wonder how much that affects your thinking later.
Yeah. No.
Like,
no, I had a conversation with a lady that had been in this organization in the 70s. Well, this was years ago when I first got out. And I was really kind of struggling with, like, it was just hard to, I suppose for me it was a little more loaded because my family and all of that. And if I walked away completely, it meant I'm never going to talk to my family ever again. So I had to come to terms with that piece of it as well. But I was talking to this lady who she had audited L. Ron Hubbard. And I was like, I'm just really kind of coming to terms with this. Like, Mark left and and read all the OT levels and just was like, boom, I'm done. I'm out. I'm never going back. And it's not that there was never a question that I was going to go back. It was just this like, how do you like peeling the layers of the onion like we always talk about? And she was like, she looked at me and she was like, have you considered the level of mind fuckery that is the OT levels, and that maybe the fact that you had gotten up to OT 5 and Mark never did any of that has a lot to do with it? And I was like, honestly, I hadn't considered that. And it was very, very helpful. It was one of the most helpful conversations I've ever had.
Yeah, that's awesome.
One of the most important things I think about doing the OT levels is, I tell people this when they get out, is at the beginning of every OT level, what are you asked to do? Indoctrination.
Mm-hmm.
And that's on OT 5, it's quite extensive. OT 4, it's pretty extensive. So you are indoctrinated on what is expected from you. The interesting thing was on OT 3, though. I just wanted to back up a little bit. I'm, have my little briefcase walking down Fountain Avenue, turning in my check sheets. The good thing about that was, hey, your peers all see you with your briefcase. They're like, oh, look at her. She's doing her OT levels.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
so we're gonna do here's a final question that I'm gonna show.
Jill Harrison, we need more Cindy on SPTV. She's a real natural and so kind. Yay! I love Cece.
Yes, I mean, how wonderful was that? And then I wanted to do also. Did you want to do a Blown for Good book giveaway?
Well, since I did the last one, I'll let you do this one for wrapping up here.
Okay, wonderful. So anyone who wants the book, Scientology, Abuse at the Top, please say, book me in the comments. I'm going to go over to the comments and I'll pick you, hopefully. So let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Savory 15, book me, please. Yes, I will book you. So all you have to do is send me your contact information to amy@scobee-publishing.com, and I'll get it off to you right away. And thank you for everyone else who's saying, book me, book me, book me. If you want to see or order my book, you can at my website, which is scobee-publishing.com. And there is digital download there, as well as a paperback signed book by my husband and I. So either one you can get there. And follow me on my channel so that you can hear my book with my added commentary if you would like, because I'm doing weekly chapters. All right. Also, subscribe to, whoops, let me hide that one and go hide that one. Let me see. Okay, so now I can put this one up. Subscribe to both channels, Queen BSP and Blown for Good, for continued exposure of the cult of Scientology. So anyone watching, if you're not subscribed to either of our channels, please do so and hit the like button, because it helps with the algorithm, which means more people will be exposed to Scientology and their cultiness.
Yes, and don't forget to also, there you go. I knew you were going there. Subscribe to our special guests' wonderful cooking channel. Cece has amazing things coming, so yay.
Yes, yes,
very
awesome.
Lasagna, unique lasagna coming out next week.
Oh,
is that right?
Yummy.
Yes.
That's amazing. Wow. Okay, so all of this has been fantastic. I loved having you, Cindy, and we're gonna see you more. And I always love to be with you, Claire, too.
Yes,
of course.
You two
and we
are
had
both
a big week.
Very special ladies to me. I love you both dearly, and
awesome.
It was wonderful getting to chat. And thank you, Cece, for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. And I'm so glad to finally get to meet Amy.
Yes.
Yay.
Amazing.
That's wonderful. And I know you have more stories and there's, some more connections that I was going to talk about, but we got, to go tonight, but there's more later for sure.
Yes.
Well, your husband is the reason that I got out of the Church of Scientology, and he probably
we
didn't
need to know that.
realize that at the time.
No, we don't know that. We need to know all about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Until
So-
next time.
Yes.
Until next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.